Bulldog Esports is broadcast live from the campus of Truman State University. Located in Kirksville, Missouri, Truman offers over 50 majors and 12 master programs. If you're looking for your next step in your educational journey, you will find what you're looking for at Truman State University. The following is a broadcast of Truman Esports competitive play. Truman Esports competes in Rocket League, League of Legends, and Smash Ultimate, and our program consists of coaches, athletes, and a student staff who all work together to bring home the wins. Keep up with the Bulldogs by following Truman Esports on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And welcome to the broadcast.
Hello and welcome back to another NACE weekly game. For some reason,
What's up?
I'm sorry, I thought we were... Never mind, I'm completely...
Yeah, no, I said I was going to play the video. We're live now.
Yeah, we're live now. I was expecting a different page, but this makes sense. I don't know what I was thinking. But Truman versus Colorado Mesa University.
Yes.
I'm excited. It's a new week, new match. Truman had some C-Law games over the weekend. Only got to play one of them, sadly.
That is true, yeah. So if you didn't see from our very last stream that we put together for everybody, so Truman does compete in C-LOL. C-LOL is currently going through their fall warm-ups. And our stream thing actually still says C-LOL fall warm-up that I can see on the stream. So I won't correct that now because that's not going to be changed. But that is on me. That is my bad. I changed everything except for that.
I didn't even catch it either, so it's also a little bit my bad.
Yes. So they are competing today. We are in NACE. And yeah, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be an interesting match. We're dealing with Mesa Verde, Colorado Mesa Verde. They were talking about Breaking Bad earlier in there, and now I'm thinking of Mesa Verde, Colorado Mesa University. So it's. I think this is gonna be a really interesting game out of both sides. I definitely see some things that I think we weren't expecting, and maybe that is just as a result of. Maybe the coaches in or something like that, but their highest ranked player on Colorado Mesa should actually be their mid laner as a platinum player. So I don't know where this ADC is coming out of with the Emerald 4 there. I think that might be Flex Q or something else. Not something that was scouted properly, or maybe not scouted properly, but not something that I think we were supposed to see. So I'm interested to see how that goes there.
Yeah. That is a little bit interesting. Taking from what Truman was talking about during their meeting, they're discussing some of the players.
Yes.
On.
Why do you say meeting like that?
I don't know. Did I say it weird?
Yeah, they're meeting. You implied that Truman has only poor meetings.
I wasn't trying to imply that they have poor meetings. They have very good meetings.
Yeah.
That meeting went very well.
Yeah.
The best meetings, some might say.
Yes, that's true.
But Truman was discussing some of the matchups that they had, and with one of the first matchups that they were discussing, of course, was that mid lane with the highest or was supposed to be the highest ranked player for Colorado, being their Platinum 4 and going against Meliora. I'm excited to see what is going to be happening out of the mid lane because of that, because every time that I see Meliora play, it's a good game. Or for the most part, it's a good game for Meliora. So I'm expecting some action to be happening in the mid lane, and I'm excited to see what comes from it.
Yeah, honestly, I'm really excited for this game. I think so. From C-LOL this weekend, there were two matches. I want to like bring back a little bit so we can talk about that because they did get streamed. There was no casting for that because you have another job, of course, like for money. We get paid, but it's your.
I stock shelves.
Yeah, so you had that, and of course we were missing one of our players. Bees was not able to play, so I stepped up and played ADC to the best of my ability. It is definitely not my main role. Definitely showed in those games, but Truman did play. They had two matches scheduled. We had the first one actually didn't go through. It turned out to be a forfeit. Their players did not show up in time. The second game, it was. I mean, I think Truman played the best that they could have given the circumstances. When you're going up against a team whose average is high emerald into diamond, they had at least one player that was masters previously, so the differential there was pretty wide, especially given that Truman's not a bad team. Like, they're probably, I mean, you could probably average it out to plat, even though the ranks don't represent that. Mm-hmm. But of course, I came in there on my off roll, probably like not as good. It definitely contributed to the drop in performance. But Truman, I don't think they fared poorly in either of those games. I think they put up a great fight. They were definitely in both of those games, and they easily. I don't know if it would have been easily they could have won it, but they definitely could have took it to 3 games. If the cards fell in their favor. And so, I mean, from that experience, Truman, I think, is going to come out and play for, they've been really focused on trying to play their game, playing for their objectives, and playing as a team. And I think it's just going to be a continuation of that today. That's mainly been their thing, their focus. Like, previously, I think it's been like, I think we can beat all the teams. Let's just win. Let's go there. Like, they had the strategy, but I think there's a lot more of an emphasis. At least I feel that kind of like energy from the team where it's like we are in a position where we can really do anything. It's just we need to play up to our potential, and I think that's the thing that Truman. We've seen both sides of it where they have played up to their potential and they've done really good. And we see the other side of it where maybe Truman was playing a little bit too aggressive, or, some things didn't go their way, and it reflected in how the game ended.
I think having those CLAW games over the weekend is very good for Truman in this situation. Having that time to practice and play against the team that was a little bit more formidable is very good for a team in getting cohesiveness and really understanding what your game plan is going into most of your games, is because you had to play against somebody who's a little bit better. I think this will work in Truman's. It might work into Truman's favor this week, considering the fact that they had that extra time to play as a team against people who were also playing as a team, not playing as a team against like a random group.
Right? A group that's much more organized, and especially there is something to be said about playing against people that are much better than you. A lot of what. Learning how to play a game, especially like this, and it's like something that's been preached by a lot of these new content creators for League of Legends, is learning how to play from behind. And I think it's like a lost art in a way. I mean, there are a lot of people that know how to play from behind, or at least have like an idea, but part of it is, I think, definitely the whole thing about people just see a game and they're like, oh, we're like down 5 kills at 5 minutes. Let's just FF and be done with it. The thing about it is, you can never learn how to carry a game while you're behind if you never play out those games. And I think Truman, it's something that's been talked a lot about in these practices and in these team discussions, is like, even if we are behind, we have to keep our mental in check and know that none of these games are games that we should absolutely lose and that we're 100% out of. And I think I really respect Truman's viewpoint on that, because it's true. There is not going to be a game that you're going to be out of and you're going to be behind unless you put yourself in there, both in a gameplay standpoint but also mentally.
I think that's something that is usually exemplified by mini games that anybody will pick up. Playing a game, and especially playing a game where you're going against opponents that are like so much better than you, really running into that wall that stands in before you can really harden your skills into it can harden your skills into something that you are just used to doing constantly, and playing against somebody who is much better than you will make it so that you will get better way faster.
Yes, that is very true. Because, part of it is that, and part of it is, the importance of VOD reviews. Watching your gameplay and understanding why you're making decisions, getting rid of bad habits and things like that. But I think we really gabbed about this for a little bit too long. Maybe we should discuss the actual game that's in front of us, given that it's the pick ban phase now. But, I mean, There wasn't a lot to talk about. We didn't have too much good information. Colorado Mesa had a very big team, a lot of options that they could pick from. So I think, honestly, having that little bit of discussion wasn't the worst thing in the world. I think it's probably in our best interest to let all of these bands come out and then talk about the picks, because we have plenty of time. And also just... They just happen so fast, and it's the thing of it's done beforehand.
Yeah.
We
were never going to catch it.
We were never gonna we will not catch it live unless we set up a different way. Yes, that's true. So I'm interested to see. I wasn't actually. I'm gonna comment on this right now. I was not expecting to see a Zach pick, or not a Zach pick here. I'm sorry, the Jax pick. Yeah.
That was something that Luma played before, was it not?
Oh yeah, totally. Luma's played a lot of Jax. Like it's not an uncomfortable.
Funnily enough, into a Dr. Mundo.
Yeah. I mean, I think so. They pick all in order for us, but it was probably that they picked these in a different order.
Yeah. But I believe that it was the last time out that Luma played into a Mundo against, what was the name of the team? I can't remember anymore. Last week.
That would have been Central Missouri University.
Was it Central Missouri?
I think it might have been Central Missouri.
I don't think Truman's played Central Missouri yet.
Have they not played Central Missouri yet?
Wait. Because I wasn't here. I'm thinking about the week beforehand.
The week beforehand.
My bad.
Okay, yeah. So you're backing up. You're backing up what I'm trying to think of.
No, sorry.
Okay. Now I have to think about it. It wouldn't have been Maryville because it would have been the team after Maryville.
But it would have been the team after. It doesn't matter. It's whatever. We've seen Luma play into a Mundo. Luma can do good against a Mundo. It just will have to work out.
I love the we'll figure it out. Actually, it doesn't matter. It
doesn't matter. It's whatever. Now that all the picks have been made,
let's talk
about it.
Okay, so the band phase. I think bands seem pretty. All these bands make sense for me. Truman side, they wanted to bench the Kench. I remember seeing that in the chat.
Yes.
It was a bench the Kench. Vladimir is very popular from
their mid laner.
Colorado's mid laner. So is the Yone. The Kaisa pick, also kind of a target on to their ADC player. And then the Zoe is kind of just eliminating just more from the mid that they want to play. They recognize that the mid is probably their best player.
Yeah. And then their picks. Jax, Skarner, Nico, Lucian, and Braum. That's as we have seen from Truman time and time again, solid team comp.
I don't necessarily think I've ever seen Truman draft a terrible team comp.
Yeah.
I definitely think there have been some questionable picks, but Truman consistently is really good about the compositions that they make for their team, and I think this is a really strong one. You have a very decent front line with Skarner and Braum. Mm-hmm. You have that Jax who can really punish the back line if you need to. Nico is great for if you can set something up like Skarner R into Nico R. That's really big.
Yeah.
Braum's in there too. I mean, the Lucian's going to be able to proc Braum passive very quickly. So there's a lot of options Truman has here. But flipping over to Colorado Mesa, what do you think about this draft here?
The ban definitely picking out Luma as somebody who can do some stuff here, banning Poppy and Shin and
the
Cassante, sorry. Yep. All of those are Luma's picks, usually. Or the Poppy is...
The Poppy is played by Horse.
Sometimes. Mm-hmm. So these picks that are... that focused, they're tankier, more people that we see Luma play, mm-hmm. and it goes well for the team overall. Some Shin, I've seen Luma play Shin, and at the last time out seeing Shin, Luma did amazing
mm-hmm.
getting into team fights and saving some kills early on.
Yeah, and I think one good thing to know is I would honestly expect that this Poppy ban probably came out. It looks like, was that the second ban? No, that would have been one of the later bans, but I think it was probably a reactionary thing. I would imagine that they probably drafted the Dr. Mundo, the Asol, and the Jinx, and then they saw, okay, they're going to let us have the Vi and the Rakan. We have to ban out the Poppy, mm-hmm. because Poppy just shuts both of them down. You just shut down Vi ult, you shut down Vi engage, you shut down Rakan W. There's a lot of things that shuts down. And then as you were saying, like shutting down Luma is one, and then you're also seeing a lot of bans on to Meliora in the mid, and which
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's to be expected. Like
Yeah.
you want to make those players you think are the biggest threats are really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't think that's enough respect to Truman's bot lane and to Truman's jungle.
No, I really think that Bees and Horse are going to do. Having Braum there against Jinx and Rakan, Jinx obviously is going to be shut out a little bit from the Braum and
Yeah, if you do it properly.
and his abilities. Rakan is it isn't necessary. Like I don't think like I'd say it's kind of neutral for Truman. There's the knock-up and the engage that Rakan brings, but if Rakan isn't focusing specifically Lucian on all of those situations, I feel like it can falter a little bit because they aren't focusing who they should be focusing, and that's just what we'll have to see is if they properly focus down Bs. And in the way of the jungle, there was some talk during the meeting about the jungle side for Colorado, and that is the fact that their jungler is incredibly aggressive.
Yes, that is very true.
As we see,
might
Truman
zoom
getting a little aggressive here.
I might have zoomed that out a little bit too far, but honestly, I don't mind seeing more of the map.
That isn't necessarily a bad thing as long as we're not seeing the skybox.
That is true. Seeing the skybox, definitely not something that I would recommend. But, so, I'm really... First of all, I'd like to respect Beast and Horse for not picking skins that match because they don't have matching skins between the two of them. However, High Noon Lucian and Dragon Slayer Braum is a beautifully color-coordinated combo.
Yeah, it is pretty nice.
I'm really interested to see what they do here. They can play this really well and be able to bully this Jinx out of lane. Rakan, of course, probably is going to take his W first, so they're not really going to have any disengage. We're going to probably see the Q come out from the Lucian here and then the Q come out from the Braum here. So they're going to be able to put a lot of damage onto them early and potentially just zone them off of these first couple of waves, putting a lot of pressure onto the spot lane. So we can see what happens here. Oh. Yep, there's the Q, and that's probably the Q from the Braum there. Yep, there's the Rakan W just as I called it out. Yeah. I've played all of these champions here, so I could kind of guess what they're probably going to go. And then, this positioning from Horse is definitely what you want to see. Just being able to shut down this and, just prevent them from doing as much as possible.
Yeah, prevent them from getting any farm, trying to, any CC. And the way that Horse is going into that bush there, because Rakan isn't the best, frontline exactly defender as much as some decent damage there from Meliora. And some damage there from Luma. But because Rakan isn't the best, up front defense as much as Braum would be, it really kind of scares the bot lane for Colorado as they don't have as much defense as does Truman, and Truman is using that to their advantage by scaring them into thinking that they need to play more passively.
Yeah, and I think something really important to remember about this matchup, especially the way that they're playing it right now, is Jinx really burns through mana if she is on Q2 and she's using bones instead of her normal zap. I think is what it's called. Yeah. So she's gonna burn through mana really fast. And actually, there's a fight happening right now, but it's a little. Oh my gosh! The flash forward is crazy.
That was nice.
I didn't even realize that Jinx paid the cleanse tax, used cleanse anyway, and still died. The flash forward definitely worked for the first blood there.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think Truman, very good from Truman here, recognizing that they're going to be so much stronger. Rakan really doesn't become a champion until level 2.
Yeah.
He has his W, but he really wants to have his E to disengage. And then his Q is kind of just like a bonus, I can do a little bit of damage, get some healing back on. But I think this bot lane is going to be really interesting for them.
From that, I think Truman played that beautifully, recognizing the fact they were able to cut them off from their CC, get that level 2 before them, stopping Rakan from getting the level 2 where he can actually go in and disengage, and so he can actually do something, and then focusing down the Jinx specifically, while she was also sort of, she was like halfway on mana because she wasn't, she was using her rockets instead of the zapping, so I think that was a great play from Truman.
Yeah, absolutely. The unfortunate thing is I can't remember the difference between the two guns. Like, I know one of them you're going to get attack speed, the other one you're going to get an increased range and an AoE, of course. Like, that just, it's rockets versus your normal gun.
I believe that the rockets do a little bit more damage.
I don't think they do more damage. I think it's just splash damage.
Is it just splash damage?
Yeah, you get splash damage and you get more range. The advantage of using... Oh, this is going to be a very interesting fight. There's
my
the
gosh.
Braum proc onto the Jinx is going to force the W and then Rakan... Or force the flash...
Force the flash.
Force the flash and then Rakan's just going to E away. Yeah, the difference is you get ramping attack speed with your normal gun, but the difference is you get increased attack range and you get an AoE with your rockets.
Okay.
That's the difference between the two of them, if I remember correctly. If I'm wrong, somebody in chat will probably tell me.
Yes. I love having a chat that will just be like, hey, actually, it's this.
Yeah,
it's very nice.
The only downside, of course, is that we have a delay here, so it's not going to be in time. This will be interesting here. We're going to see the Vi is going to be clearing the ward here. Truman's definitely going to be aware of that. You see the Braum go up here. Shield's going to go out. Going to get some damage. That is very smart. Going to be able to get the Vi in a position.
The Vi, because the Vi has any way to disengage there, and now Jinx has to try and save the Vi, and so Jinx dies while Truman is walking it up, trying to get this other stun on the Rakan, possibly to kill.
No, the kill's not going to come out. That was really clean. That was really clean.
Great job by Truman.
Very, very intelligent horse, waiting and getting that passive procs.
Yes,
those passive. The flash forward
on to the Mundo is great there. Truman very smartly rotates after those that kill and those great damage there into the drag, focusing those objectives.
Yeah, so I think the most important thing that you saw there from the macro play there was Horse decided to make sure to auto the Vi, and so the Vi didn't go for it, but she still took 2 autos from the Braum, and then she was you were able to see you're able to see the Lucian Q go off of it, and so he's going to be able to proc those other 2 autos. And then it's going to instantly put her into a position where she's going to be stunned. This is just so dirty. She's just so out of position here. Rakan's going to be able to come in and get the slowdown. We're going to get
with the stun there.
Yeah, no, that's just you don't want to be up. I mean, you have to recognize that Truman was on the dragon.
Yes, you have to know, you got to be aware of your spatials, and you can see the objective being taken in the feed, and so trying to do something like that isn't the smartest play from Colorado.
Yeah, definitely not the play that I would make, but of course, I'm not on the field right now. No. I'm currently sitting here in the chair.
Yeah, I get to be all comfy while they're engaged with their gamer backs.
The gamer backs?
Gamer back, when you got when your neck is completely forward and you're hunched over.
No, I don't know about that.
Obviously, you're not locking in when you're playing.
I suppose perhaps I am not locking in. So Truman, I definitely they're looking for this. They just want to push this aggressively so they can crash under a tower on the back.
Yeah.
This makes the most sense. They were able to get a back. Well, Jinx got a free reset. She got a free gray screen. Yeah. But yeah, I think their best play here: let it crash, walk away, reset.
Truman's up 2 levels in the bot lane. It is a very smart play from them, and of course with Lucian's a little out of mana here, and they just get the free back because of the crash, and of course the Jinx and Rakan is not going to engage on a fight that seems a little...
This is smart. Going forward and being able to get the CC off, the only thing I would have liked to see better there is Halo moving him actually backwards towards the Jax instead
going
of...
the other way instead of to the left. But it works here, and it does brings some little bit of damage. Vi is going to go straight.
No, she's not going to do it. They were too far under tower. See, the difference would have been if Vi had 6 there, it probably would have seen her. She probably would have flashed onto probably flash onto Jax, then go into ultimate just to lock him down. Yeah. This might be gross. The flash forward and ulting.
Completely dodging it, and just the auto gets it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it doesn't, I don't think there's ever going to be a time where I'm not going to quote exactly what Horse said whenever talking about Bees is, I love the fact that Bees knows when he can get a kill and he's going to go after
Another kill for Luma there. That's just a great play and really showing how much time that Luma might have taken to get and understand plays that Mundo might bring here. And we also see, if we bring our eyes down to the scoreboard here, is that Luma is now currently almost 30 more CS than the Mundo here. And if Luma can continue to do that throughout the game and just like cancel out any farm that Dr. Mundo can get, it can really damage one of their tanks.
Yeah, and I think the difference is here is you definitely want to drown out Mundo from the farm as long as possible.
Yeah.
Because the difference maker is once Mundo is able to get the Warmogs, then he's going to be able to just infinitely sustain in his lane, and he's going to be a split push menace.
Yeah.
The same thing is they're trying to set up. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Oh, okay, yeah, nothing's going to happen there. Block it. Yeah, that's fine. They should not engage here, and I don't think they're going to make that decision. The double ward in the bush is really funny. But I think the thing about it is Jax is also a very big, strong split push menace.
Yeah.
Mundo's not as helpful in those team fights. He can dish out a lot of damage, but the CC that you're going to be able to provide from the Jax might be a little bit stronger. And of course, with a stronger Jax, is definitely going to mean your split pushes are going to be a lot more potent, and he's just going to be able to be a gremlin all over the map.
Yeah.
Mundo would do the same thing, but delaying that as much as possible with the farm difference. And ooh, this might turn into something here.
Yeah.
Maybe not. You don't see. You're going to see the
Truman,
dash forward
the
here.
Dash forward in for it, and Truman's going to try and do some.
Watch this Vi. This Vi's probably going to ulti. Yep.
Ult onto the Lucian, but they focus her very well, pushing her directly into the wall, and now she doesn't have much she can do. And yes, they also got the kill on the Rakan there, and Bees is trying to go for it, and there it is. Now Bees is 5-0. This is a very good position for Truman as they continue to get picks and get kills when they can. This is something that Truman has been focusing on continuously, is finding out where the enemy team is making mistakes and exploiting those as much as possible, as Meliorda exploits another mistake that
the flash forward.
Yeah, that sucks.
A little ambitious there.
Yeah.
A little ambitious.
Almost. If they just one more auto and that would have been a kill.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, flash for flash there. It's not the biggest deal in the world.
No.
But yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you here. Truman's doing a really great job of making sure that they're... oh my gosh!
Holy crap!
This poor Jinx is getting bullied in every lane that she steps foot in. Yeah, I think Truman is just showing a lot of poise here and a lot of very good decision-making, taking fights that they know they're going to win, or putting themselves in positions where they're going to be able to rotate to these objectives that they want. And, look at this. You have 4 out of the 5 team members for Truman here, as opposed to you're going to have a 4v4 here. But the difference is Jinx is already half health because you saw all that damage go out from Meliora in the mid. So it's not going to be a fight. They can't do anything. Jinx is so far behind.
Yeah, and there is a significant level difference here too. As their Rakan is yet to get to level 6. Their Jinx is behind at level 8. And of course, Jax was a level higher than
TP here. TP here from the Jax. It looks like Truman really wants to take this fight here.
They're looking for this fight, and they want this fight because they win it. They're just doing so much more damage, and they have spent so much more time in lane compared to much of the Colorado's team, that they just do so much more damage, and they're focusing who they want to kill so quickly. They as soon as they know that there's somebody who is going to be doing a lot of damage or who is very squishy and it could be the easy kill, they immediately go for it and get that kill out of the way.
Yeah. I personally, I don't think I necessarily agree with the TP there. I think Truman probably could have been able to do something stronger on the map, especially, I mean, you're giving Mundo a couple of plates, maybe he's going to get back into the game. I think, honestly, it was probably Luma recognized, hey, I can TP here, Mundo can't take tower in time. I forgot, I should have looked at the clock that the plates weren't going to be down yet. But I really appreciate the things that Truman is doing here to just continue to, make sure that the lead stays intact. I mean, that fight, of course, you're going to burn the TP for it, but you're just putting so much pressure, and it's even stronger because we're seeing Truman switch their bot lane into mid, knowing that they are so far ahead that they can just be in mid lane and let the mid laners just play in bot for them.
I don't necessarily think that was the decision by Truman. If you were paying attention a little bit before they got into that team fight over the Grubs or the Void guys, Void Grubs. Okay, I said that right. The Colorado's bot lane had moved into the mid because they were wanting to switch there, and then some big damage on the Luma.
The dash over wall.
I'm not so sure he gets out of here.
100% sure what's going to happen here. I don't think that was enough time yet. That's going to be the ulti coming out from her.
Yeah.
Not the person that you really want to get that shut down, but it's not the worst situation in the world. I do see what you're saying here. I'm interested to know what's happening here. Yeah, they're gonna try to make something happen here. That's gonna be the
flash backwards.
Yeah, they're going to be the E backwards and the flash backwards. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, I think their bot lane did rotate mid. I think that was partially due to the objective pressure that they were wanting to do. But also, I think they recognized, hey, we want these void grubs. We need to get stop Truman from getting these void grubs. Mm-hmm. And so what they did was they sent their bot. Sent their bot mid.
But it is making too much of a difference as both teams have now switched, and it's just the same lanes but in different areas. Well, I mean, there is some difference because of objectives and such.
Truman late to this Rift Herald fight. It's gonna be interesting to see what they decide to do here. There's gonna be the big knockup. Rakan's gonna go and not gonna get anything. Beast is on the front line. He's gonna be able to take down the jungler, and then this is gonna be a very big fight for Truman. The big ult coming out from the Skarner, and then Beast is just gonna clean up. I wasn't able to follow that fast enough because I forgot the name of Skarner, but there's gonna be another big pop bloom coming out from Meliora, and it's gonna be just bye dragon.
Yeah. Truman is just, it is working on all fronts right here. It is now currently 12-1 via kills, and with almost 5,000 gold lead now.
I just want to talk about the disrespect to be proxy farming in front of them.
They
jumped into it. The proxy farm, that's the position you don't want to put yourself in. But the disrespect of proxy farming in front of the bot lane, not even one person but two people, is insane.
And at this point, Truman has moved in the bot lane to the point where now it's crashing down to their second tower, and now Truman is focusing the mid lane, trying to get these towers down. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate that you lose Rift Herald. I mean, you get a tower there for it. So now at this point, Truman, I mean, they're leading with about a 6k gold lead, so they know that they're very strong. And I think one of the important things that they've discussed before, and I've heard them talk about, is once you get far enough ahead into the game, you want it to be like the other team cannot interact with you. They either cannot take a fight with you, or you are just doing things around the map to where they have to go answer, and then you're just not there anymore.
Yes.
And I think Truman really needs to look for plays like this. And I think one of these plays they might be setting up for something here. I mean, we see the dragon coming, and then the dragon's going to face check that, and then that's not going to be a great position. He's going to have to use an ability there to get away, but that would have been very scary if the Braum got that put off. So
Jackson's just going to focus the tower here while trying to bring it down.
Ooh, that's going to be a big catch into the ult off the Nico. Nico's going to be able to take down potentially one here if you're able to get the hit on there.
Yeah,
I was wondering what was going on there.
And we see Luma taking down the tower while Mundo is there, showing a little bit of disrespect.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, you walk up, Jack, you can't do anything. Jack's just ease. You can't auto him. He dodges everything. It doesn't count as him attacking you. He just hits the tower for free.
Yeah. Truman is just firing on all cylinders. It's working. They are focusing their objectives very well. Cutting off their mid laner. The only person on the team that seems to be having a little bit of luck that way, keeping up with CS. But the rest of them are just, they feel like they're putting, I would feel like I'm just continually being pushed out of anything that I can do. Anytime that we try to focus objectives, there's somebody who is there guarding that. Anytime that I'm trying to go down the lane, there's just somebody right in front of me. They really are trying to make sure that Colorado has no position to try and get back into this game.
That's disrespectful. Do you see what Horse is doing there? Trying to steal the chicken?
Yes. Horse is trying to be trying to do as much as possible on the ult, into the ult by the Lucian, firing under tower. That is just taking two big back.
I would like it to be recognized that Jinx chose to cleanse there. Oh my gosh. I don't know about that one. I think we kind of praised Truman for what they were doing earlier, but now they're taking a lot more aggressive fights.
Yes.
And I think it comes down to you have to recognize at what point you need to stop taking those aggressive fights, because they are just they're slowly putting Colorado Mesa back into the game by taking these really aggressive fights.
Yes.
I know that's part of Luma's playstyle is he likes to take the aggressive fights here, but I think that's just not the play.
I think, and I hopefully Truman will recognize the fact that they need to stop doing these incredibly aggressive fights where there isn't too much, there isn't as much of a win advantage for them in those fights, and just keep calm, keep collected, and focus on what you are doing well, and try to get we saw them in the early game getting those quick kills as people were getting caught out, and they need to focus on that.
Yeah, and I think, it's an interesting position for Truman to be in. I mean, they have such a demanding lead, such a commanding lead, that really there is. I mean, if you were in ranked, you just cruise to a win, like probably. But like they have to respect that this team is able to play off of their mistakes.
Yes,
and I think it's really important. So I think Truman. I mean, I think that it was probably a position of where like, oh yeah, we're all having a good time, like we're all strong, like let's just play this like we're strong, which is not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's the thing of you have to give your opponent some semblance of respect. And I think that's probably the biggest difference that you saw there was Truman didn't respect it enough. And that cost them at least those 2 deaths under that tower there. I mean, I know that they saw the jinx, and if they were able to get the jinx there, that would have been beautiful. But in other positions, like you have to be aware of those kinds of things.
Yeah. I think Truman, they know that they, as much as they want to, they can't take these fights under tower as Loom is being caught out. Oh, nope, getting away with the jump over the wall.
This is a disrespectful play right here.
Oh, the teleport in. That means the Truman sees the teleport, feels that stun, and just like we know we have to back out. But that is some big damage coming out of the Mundo.
Oh, choosing the flash forward and get the ASOL off of the ground there. Now you're going to be focusing. Yeah. So we see the ult coming out for the Vi. Then the Beast is going to try to walk backwards here, but there's not a lot that he can do in that position. That's such a big shutdown.
That is a huge shutdown on the Mundo. As I imagine, as much as they probably wanted that to probably go on their Vs as not Vs. Vi, sorry. Probably to get that extra damage and try and stop what Truman's been doing here.
Mm-hmm.
But it did go on to the Mundo, which isn't necessarily bad for them. Having that really tanky individual for them will do very well in team fights.
Yeah, I mean, as a spectator, I'm a little bit frustrated with that play.
Yeah.
As somebody who wants Truman to win, like, I see and I understand why you would want to make that play. But I think as soon as you see that TP and you're in that position, I think you probably just want to walk away.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the bottom side jungle for Truman. They had so much vision. You knew Vi was rotating.
Mm-hmm.
I think you play to be alive and you just walk away.
Yeah.
It's such a big shutdown to give out, even if it's just on the Mundo.
Yeah.
Giving them any gold is putting them back in the game.
Yeah.
They were in a position where they had over a 6K gold lead, and that has dwindled down. We're at about a 4K gold lead, and that's probably going to keep getting smaller. This is another instance where Truman needs to know that they are getting baited, and they do not take the bait, fortunately.
We see Luma just knocking Mundo off his tower, trying to keep that as long as possible. I think Luma might even consider trying to split push the top lane here as Shin goes in on Meliora. And hopefully...
Yeah, there's going to be the ult onto the Vi, and then we're going to see Bees walk backwards. We're going to see the ult come out from Horse. Horse is going to miss out on the Q to be able to get the passive proc onto the Vi, and then the Bees is just going to be left around dancing, but there's not much that he can do there in that position. Yeah, that's just a very hard position to be in. We're going to see the ult come out for the Skarner. Skarner's going to walk backwards, going to have to flash backwards. We're going to see Luma go in there. Luma's going to pick off one. We're going to see Meliora go in. She's going to be able to get 2 there.
This is doing some decent damage, and now that the full team is here, being able to actually survive is very important. I think after this, hopefully, Truman will recognize the fact that they are playing together, and they are as glue. The Colorado is playing together. They are not leaving each other's side because they know that if they do, there's eventually going to be a time.
The flash forward!
Fantastic by Luma, getting the kill on all 3 of them. Maybe not on the Shin, as he just has the ability to fly away.
The ASOL.
That is ASOL. Not Shin, sorry. ASOL, being able to fly away, and Truman gets this next objective. But I hope that Truman recognizes that Colorado is sticking together the whole time through all fights. And so that they have to... They have to play smarter and play around the fact that any fight that you're going to have now with Colorado is going to be a team fight for them. And if you recognize that every fight for them is going to be a team fight, you know when and where to pick your fights. If my team is around me, or if I'm completely alone on an island.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, Truman discussed a little bit. I know a little bit of their game plan, especially for team comps like this, was not to play as aggressive. This feels like a much more aggressive team comp from Truman. But I think you want to take what the enemy team gives to you, and I think Truman is doing a little bit of the opposite. They're really trying, in a couple situations, they're trying to force those fights.
Yeah.
And I think all of those instances where they're trying to force something to happen, it has cost them.
Yeah.
And so I think if Truman locks back in, plays a little bit slower, as long as you play this slow and steady, and you just play your game, play an efficient way that you know that the enemy team's not going to be able to do anything here, you just win the game.
Yeah.
As long as you play slow, play steady, recognize where your advantages are, and abuse your advantages.
Yes. Truman has been doing very well on the vision side of this and keeping aware of where the enemy team is. They just got to make sure that they're looking at their map and knowing where the rest of the team is when fights occur or team fights occur. We see Luma doing some little bit of trolling down bot as trying to distract Colorado from where Truman is, and we're gonna see Luma come in with that team fight, and we see Asol come in with a big ult, maybe turning the tide here as there's some kills on both sides. The kill on Braum and Truman just barely squeaks out the advantage here. Oh my gosh. You have to know that Asol is going... Oh my gosh. That was a little scary. You gotta know that Asol was going that way and could probably assume that you're going through that bush. You have to... If you can have vision there, but they squeaked it out there. That was a bit of luck and a little bit of skill.
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts and feelings about the team fight that I just witnessed there. I think Truman did a really good job at the beginning with the way that they were positioned, but I think especially once Vi committed to be in the middle of their team, I think Truman did a decent job of responding to hey, the only person that's going to be able to stop us from doing this dragon is that Vi. If we take her out while she is in the middle of our team, that is just a free win. Mm-hmm. I think the problem came in when the Asol was also able to TP. I don't know if the Asol TP got caught out there. No. Good attention to detail from Luma to be able to TP up and be a part of that fight.
Yeah.
But I think Truman, it's hard to say if what way that team fight could have gone better, especially when we don't have a replay thing, but it wasn't the worst team fight for Truman, but
no.
Still you definitely don't want to see that happen, especially the thing that came out of that was really Colorado Mesa got a small advantage there.
Yeah.
You forced Jax off of the split push angle, and they didn't get the Baron.
Yeah. Still nobody has taken the Baron, but Truman is still. They were able to, after that game, still keep that they're building up on that gold lead, trying to continue to do things, focus their objectives. As we see Truman focusing back on to the. Possibly trying to get the Baron here, but depending on what Mesa does here with the recall by I don't know.
Yeah, so I think Truman is just trying to establish vision around this Baron.
Yeah.
I think they are thinking that there's definitely going to be the decision from Colorado Mesa. They have to make one of two decisions. Do we let them take the Baron, or do we take the Dragon from them? Because if Truman gets the Dragon, that's their soul.
Yeah.
It is so strong to have soul on Braum and onto the Skarner.
Yes.
And it's also going to be able to solidify and at least make your other carries be much stronger. Especially, onto people who, the Brawler, the Jax is going to be stronger, but having that on the Lucian and having that on to the Nico is just going to make them just tanky enough that they're probably going to be able to fight just a little bit more. And that last fight, that was definitely decided by the Asol ult. He had the full stacks. He was able to drop the sun on them.
Yeah. What I think we'll see from Truman here is that they will probably rotate to keep that drag as we see them setting up along that line there, trying to find out.
Vi used that ability early. Okay, we're going to see the TP coming out here. That's going to be there's going to be the Mundo there. I don't think anything's going to happen here, so I'm going to slow down my casting speed.
Okay, so Truman knows that they are all in on that drag.
Yeah, and exactly what I was saying. They are going to commit to taking that dragon. Melior is going to stay behind to potentially get the steal, but now Truman is in a very strong position to be able to just take that Baron. You're going to see the Aesol come in here. We're going to see the flash over the wall from the Jax.
Jax just go all in on him, trying to completely disable anything that he... trying to disable that early engage by him, but Jax continues to live.
He's still alive, and he's able to get on top of the Jinx.
Get on top of the Jinx, do some decent damage there. Did Truman get the...
No, Truman gave up on the Baron. They're going to force the fight, and there's going to be the big ult from the Nico. Beast is going to go forward, but Beast is going to die. You're going to be taken down by the Jinx there, and now it's just a disengage from Truman. Truman's not in a great position here. It's another thing of, I think, engaging onto the Aesol was a good idea, but I think, I don't think you have to. It's just hard, I think if you play that a little bit slower, you wait for your Nico to be in the position, and you're going to have a much stronger position. I mean, of course, walk off the Baron. You don't have to keep taking the Baron, especially if you know that team's going to be rotating there. I think they were hoping that they were able to take it sooner, but they just weren't able to take the Baron as fast as they wanted to, and that's what made the difference there.
As we see, I believe Truman is still looking for the Baron here, especially as the drag has a few more minutes before it's going to be back up for them to get that soul. I'm not so sure what Truman... I have an idea of what their game plan here is, trying to get that Baron, but I wonder if they have an idea of what they want to do once they get into these team fights, because they have to be able to push the enemy team off their squishies, because that's what's really making the difference in those team fights, is that they immediately jump on bees or Meliora. Although Meliora has been playing very well and gotten decently lucky with not.
This is a rough position to be in here
for a Horse. Yeah. Get the flash over the wall, shield. That was a good play from Horse, just completely disengaging, knowing that I don't want to fight that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's not really... If you don't flash there, you die. Yeah. I think it's just very, very easily, that's the call. Colorado Mesa is doing a really good job of staying in this game, and they're clawing their way back. The gold lead has gone. I think the highest it was an 8K gold lead. It is now down to less than 5. It is now about a 4K gold lead. So the Truman's kind of... It's not that it's out of their hands, but they're definitely they're losing their advantage.
Yeah, they're losing their advantage here. They have... I think for Truman... So, it's going to be very hard, but I think for Truman, what they have to do is they have to find a position where they can find one of the enemy team out. When they make a mistake, I think that will be the best time to do it, is when we see Colorado make a mistake. Yes. A jump in.
Melior's in the wave!
We obviously neither of us saw that, but that is exactly what I was talking about. Finding a point where you can trick, it doesn't matter. Trick, find a mistake, doing something where you can get a kill out.
I need that clip. I need that clip, please. We were too focused on talking about the rest of it and watching what was going on mid. I didn't even see her in the wave.
Oh my gosh.
That was such a... They knew that he was going to do that because he kept doing it. Oh my gosh, that is so crazy.
Doing that, finding a point where Colorado Mesa is making a mistake, getting a kill that will disable their team fights, because Aesol is making a big difference in those team fights with that AoE damage. So if now that Truman is in more favorable position, finding that Baron,
there's the TP coming from the Aesol.
I think Truman recognized the Aesol.
There's going to be the
back off.
Okay, there's it's gonna be the big Aesol, and Rakan's gonna dash out. We're gonna see B's gonna be getting pressure from a lot of the teammates, but you're gonna see them recover here. The Jax is gonna go for it, get one, get two. That's gonna be the jungler down, and then B's. It's gonna be B's and Halo left here.
And they got this really okay. Or sorry, I completely forgot.
That's the Halo.
Halo, yes, Halo was able to get out and was able to still get Baron there, but now the rest of the team doesn't have Baron, and so you're the only person that Colorado has to worry about is Halo here, and so you just have to focus where Halo is, and focus that lane to make sure that that Baron buff isn't used to its fullest advantage. But I'm that fight wasn't horrible from Truman, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to see all of those things. Like, there's so much that you have to focus on, and this is going to be rough from Horse walking up into the Mundo. I mean, you're going to break his passive there. Like, that's something that you can do. And Halo's going to be in here. Halo's going to get the Mundo. Probably going to be searching for the Jinx here. There's going to be one passive onto the Jinx. Jinx is going to cleanse there just to get the extra speed, and she's going to get out of there. And we're going to see the TV come in from the Jax here. And now this is going to be a fight for the Dragon. There's neither team has really a vision advantage here, so I think that might spell the difference here. Truman's going to look to play aggressively, and Truman is over the wall with the Blast Cone. We're going to see Halo, we're going to see Horse posturing up on the top side with Meliora, and we're going to see...
They're doing a great job trying to cut off... there we go.
There's going to be Dragon there. Big ult coming out from the Nico. They're going to have the Vi back on V's there. V's is going to be alone, but Meliora is going to come back and going to be able to save him there. And now the front line stabilized. Truman is able to just walk backwards out of this fight, and I think that's definitely what they need to do here.
There we go.
They were able to kill the jungler, get V's clean, and then they're just able to walk out. It looks like Colorado Mesa is going to try to push that bot wave in, but honestly, they should really recognize that Truman's just going to go mid.
Yeah, they're just going all mid.
Because they have Baron buff.
They have Baron buff, and so they continue to push. It is very good position for Truman here. I think now almost all of Colorado Mesa is teleporting back as they realize, oh no, Skarner still has
Baron buff and base.
Baron buff and base, and now they have Soul. Truman is going to back up here, just allowing the super minions to spawn and really make sure that Colorado has to focus on something in their base, and so they aren't. So now Truman can focus on objectives a little bit more, while California. I almost said California. Colorado Mesa is focused on those super minions in their base.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't know what that noise was.
I'm pretty sure that something happened.
Well, let's not think about the noise that we just heard. Yeah. Let's focus on. I want we are in one of the normal buildings where people do like there are professors in this building, there's students in this building, they have classes in this building. So given the time of night, there are classes that get out around this time. So that very well could have just been somebody in a class, or it could have been a teacher. But so let's focus on here. The Dragon fight's going to be coming up nearly 4 minutes, so Truman's going to look to be in a position where they can probably... I mean, Truman's in a comfortable position where they might be able to end here. You've got pressure on the bot wave coming from the Jax, and then you can put a little bit of pressure in that mid. You see them looking to respond to that. Good attention to detail, getting some vision on that bot side. Truman's in a position where they just want to play slow. Mm-hmm. There's not much more that you have to do other than push waves in. Mm-hmm. And pressure them.
They just tried to do that same thing again, where they had Meliora hiding in Luma.
I still cannot believe that play happened. I am so excited to watch that back and see that it was very obvious that Meliora was there.
Yes,
but that was, oh my gosh, what a play.
And we saw there a little bit what I was talking about, having Colorado distracted by those super minions. We see that Aesol was having to use ability, and we'll see that from the other champions, is that they have to use these abilities to get that damage. Well, more specifically Aesol, because of the AP champion.
Yeah, and of course Aesol wants to stack off of those waves, but it just becomes much harder whenever you're dealing with the super minions, or you're dealing with Baron buffed minions. I think those are also super minions. But we're referring to the siege minions specifically. They just have so much health.
It's so much health.
It's so many resistances too.
Yes, and the gold from it is good gold, but it is not as much as you would want from it. We've seen a little bit of a setup from the team fight. Possibly, I think Truman knows that they have to back out from there. Yes, they do.
Yep. Truman's gonna play this slow. I think they're playing for this Baron. Okay, you're good. Alrighty, so I think Truman looks like they're going to play for this... Ooh, I knocked over my water bottle. Truman looks like they're going to play for this Baron here. They've got a minute. They're probably going to... They've got really strong vision on this top side, so let's go ahead and see what happens here. Mid-wave is pushed up past the halfway point, so it is going to be pushing back to them very slowly, but they are going to have that extra wave coming back there. So actually that movement is going to be towards... Colorado Mesa. This is going to be a big play here. Going to be some big damage. The ult coming out on the Jinx. Jinx is not going to get away. Horse is right there to clean up. Alrighty, and then we're going to see probably a push aggressively here in this bot wave. Truman is in a great position, and we see Halo moving towards that Baron, so Truman might either make the play to go towards that Baron or continue pushing this bot wave in. It's going to be a 4-on-4 here coming out from Truman. We're going to see the Jax go in there. We're going to see the Vi charge up here. It's going to be the Asol ult's going to come out. It's going to get 2. Bees is free in the back wave, but that's going to be Meliora going to get the 2 from the ult, and the Jax is going to go in, and we're going to see a lot of damage coming out of Beast. Beast is going to get hit by the Vi ult. Beast is going to walk backwards here, but Luma's doing a great job of being able to cut them down, and then we're going to see the Moon is going to be able to keep putting pressure onto Bees. Bees is going to have to keep running away, but Bees is eventually going to be taken down. It's going to be a 2v2 coming out from Halo and going to be the Jax. They're just going to have to walk backwards. That was a really important fight, and I think the difference would have been made if it was going to be a 5v4, but they just weren't in the greatest position to make something happen there. It looks like Jax is still going to try to make something happen there by moving forward, but nothing's going to come out of it. That's rough. I mean, I think Truman was saying, like, hey, if we can make this play happen, we can end the game here. And I honestly, I definitely think that was going to be the play that was going to happen there. I think, you win that fight, you win the game. So, I mean, it's rough. It's rough to lose a fight like that. But of course, I mean, you're never going to win every single game. So, or not every single game. I apologize. Every single fight. So, I mean, what can you do? I think their positioning was pretty decent, and I think the big game changer there was forcing Meliora to ult and then immediately use that Zhonya's. I think that was the big difference there for that fight. We're reaching 40 minutes now in this game. This has been a long game here. It seems like it's always been in Truman's advantage. They've always been in an advantage state, but they haven't really been able to capitalize outside of those first early 20 minutes. But this Elder fight is going to decide it.
Yes.
At least I think it's going to decide it.
If Truman can get this Elder buff, I feel like they can definitely end.
That's going to be Elder going to go on to Colorado Mesa. They're going to be trying to put out as much damage as possible. Halo's stuck in the middle. We're going to see the Rakan flash forward, going to get the W off onto Meliora, and then Bees is going to go down second. Bees has got the Guardian Angel, so he's going to resurrect, but it is not going to make the difference here. Jax is in the back. Jax is in the base. We're going to see 1, 2, 3. There's going to be 2 TPs coming out from Colorado Mesa, and then Horse is going to be left to try to clean up the ashes there, but it looks like Jax is going to be able to get out there, and Horse is going to be able to walk backwards. I don't think they're going to be able to do enough damage there to get anybody else, but that is just such a bad position to be in when you're losing the Elder Dragon like that.
Yeah. But I feel like Truman has a position here that they can make the backdoor work. Obviously, their game plan here now is to just survive long enough that you can play out that Elder buff so that it drops, and so you can continue to make this game work. Yeah, not a position that Truman wants to see themselves in. I mean, they're getting sieged right now. There's not much they can do while that Elder buff is going to be up, and it's going to be up for at least probably another minute. But Colorado's going to make the right decision. Let's go Baron. I mean, Truman is now respawning. They lost 3 of their teammates. So Truman kind of had this decision here that they have to make. You got to push out waves and just put yourself in a better position and then play safe while this Baron buff is going to be up. I don't think that they're in a position where they're going to want to just try to push in. I think it's really just a thing of push your waves out, wait out the Baron too. Yeah. But I think Truman here, I'm not sure, but I saw a few pings by them. Yes. Luma is going down bot and is trying to push in that wave there, and I'm not entirely sure, but Luma might be thinking about trying to push it to the point where trying to get that inhib down, which is a good positioning for Truman. But if it happens or not, and if they can.
This blue buff is definitely working for the enemy team here, giving away their position. They're just gonna have to walk backwards. Yeah, I know what Truman was looking to do there. Truman was looking to wait until somebody was in position so they could just pick somebody off, and that should have been just a free win from them there. But they weren't able to get that. So I think in this position, Truman is still in a position where they're strong enough that they can push out far enough around their base. They have a lot of vision up, and they're not super worried about that Baron. But now it's a thing of you need to do something with that Baron buff if you're Colorado Mesa outside of getting 2 towers and an inhibitor. I mean, you just want to push another wave, but there's not really a position that they're looking at that they can play too well. It looks like they're sending everybody top, and we're going to see that Luma's in the bot lane, so And it looks like that the Mundo is gonna respect that. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. So you see Halo's the only one there, and you see everybody else. Colorado Mesa is all top. You're seeing 4 from Truman that are gonna be sieging their base. So it's basically, this is looking like it's just gonna be a base race. And what Truman has to do here, kill the Mundo, and Halo's only job here is stop them from backing. Halo's not gonna be able to do that. They're gonna have to get this Mundo down very quickly. There's gonna be the Acel coming back there. Jax is gonna be up forward. He's gonna be able to try to do something there. There's gonna be the Acel ult coming out, and you're gonna see them walking backwards. This is the best that they can do. They're gonna see the ult coming out onto the bees. Bees is gonna flash and E away, but there's not much more that they can do. The Rakan's gonna jump forward and he's gonna catch out Horse. Horse is gonna go down, and it's just such a bad. That's just such a rough position. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a loss for words here. I didn't expect Truman to lose that game.
One.
That game was so in their hands the entire time.
That was very winnable the whole way through. I think the difference maker there was the fact that that Colorado, just their positioning and their tankiness really played into those team fights. And so anytime that there was a team fight happening, even though Truman was ahead and was in the position to get those wins in those fights, it just wasn't happening because they couldn't get in the right positioning to get those squishies out, and they also couldn't get in the right they couldn't set up their front line to protect their squishies from being caught out there. So that is a little bit disappointing. But we have seen from Truman that they are able to learn from their mistakes very quickly. And I know they can. They learn from these mistakes very quickly and make a few decisions, make a few changes, and really try to swing these games back into their favor.
Bulldog Esports is broadcast live from the campus of Truman State University, located in Kirksville,
Wrong
Missouri.
transition
Truman.
there, but, I feel like Truman definitely has been doing a good job of recognizing when those kinds of things happen, and being able to build off that into the next map. And if they can build off of that into the next map, I feel like they might be in a
Yeah, I apologize. They're just taking a long time to be in between to actually create this next game. Also, I don't think that your audio was coming through on that screen.
Oh no!
So I think you were talking for just for no reason. So I'm gonna walk back in there and go ahead and wait until they are actually able to get me that custom game lobby invite, and then I'll be back in here once that is done, so I don't have to touch anything else. So
Okay.
I'll be right back. But now you have audio.
Now I have audio.
I apologize.
Sick. Okay. Well, I'm not entirely sure what was caught or was not caught, but I'll repeat some things. Hopefully, some of it got caught there. But we saw some good things from Truman. We saw some good things from Colorado there. Obviously, they got the win there. They were able to bring it back. But what we saw from Truman was that their aggressiveness kind of was their Achilles heel, because as they were fighting in these games, they got a little overtly aggressive in positions where it wasn't always favorable to them. We saw it a few times where Brahman, where we saw Horse and Bees fighting fights where obviously Horse was doing a great job defending and trying to get those slows so that Bees could get those kills, but they were fighting fights that weren't exactly in their favor. And so it kind of, we definitely saw it eventually where there was that shutdown for that 1,000 gold, which I'm pretty sure might have gone on to the Jinx there. I would have to go back and look at it. But that shutdown gold is so good for Colorado to get back into a game. It wasn't necessarily that Colorado was completely down and out of that game, which was the way that Truman was posturing throughout it, was that we're so ahead that we can be super aggressive and get these fights and get these kills without having to worry about it too much. But that wasn't the case. And I think that as to what my other commentator said was that normally in a like a ranked match or a quick play game or a normal game or something like that, that would be an easy cruise to a win, as the enemy team is going to get tilted and they're gonna they're going to be angry over the fact that things aren't working out. But that's not what we have. What a position we have here is that we have two teams that are working together, who have worked together consistently, and know that a game isn't lost until the game is actually lost. And so Colorado did a very good job at not losing any mental there, and recognizing where they could get kills out, and the fact that they were were gaining ground when it came to everything. And I think that was definitely evident, and I feel like Colorado continued to recognize that when those team fights were happening and all of Truman wasn't there and they were, or it was like a 4v3 or a 4v2, is that that if they played it smart and they played together, that they could continue to claw back the win, which they did. And so for Truman here, you have to think about that. You have to think about your aggressiveness. If you know that your early game can be very good, you can get kills out, you can look for the mistakes, you can get an easy win here. You can get an easy win and hopefully beat them out. But from the mistakes that Colorado made, Truman just kind of took that as, oh, this is how they're always going to play, which isn't the mentality you have to be going in with. Is, oh, these people are making mistakes. and it seems like it's happening consistently, or we're in a advantage positions we need to continue to use that, which is good, using your advantage and the gold or the items that you have over another team is a smart and good idea, but recognizing that a team is not just going to give up. Ultimately, they are not going to just give up the game because it isn't in their favor anymore. They know that it is still very winnable, and so they started to focus. They started to lock into their game mentality and try to find mistakes that Truman was making. Which they, during the mid to late game, they were doing a lot of. And I think it really saw from that mid game where Truman was trying to be probably too aggressive, and as a result, Colorado used those mistakes from the aggressiveness and used the fact that there was positions where Truman was outnumbered. They used that to their advantage and got kills, got picks, got those
objectives.
Got the objectives. They got I was thinking of kill somebody, you get more gold.
Oh, shutdowns.
The shutdown.
The shutdown gold. Yeah, the bounties.
Bounties. Getting bounties. They were getting those bounties and clawing their way back into that game. So I think for Truman here, it's just you have to focus on, of course, what you're doing good, but you also have to know that Colorado's a team. Mm-hmm. They're going to look at your mistakes and use those mistakes to their advantage.
Yep. And I think now that I'm back here, I apologize for making you talk so long. They were deliberating what went wrong through that game, and I didn't want to interject because they're having good conversation about like what they felt went wrong and what differences they needed to make. And I think one of the things that was pointed out that was like a really big point was one of the players said they let us get a lead just so they could bleed it out of us. Mm-hmm. And I think that's true. They definitely had a comp that was built to, even though Truman was going to get a lead in that game, and they did get a lead in that game, they played it well, and they played it in a position to where no matter what, they were going to continue to scale into that late game. Yeah. I mean, you've got the Mundo, and you've got at least the Asol, so you're in a position, and you've got a hyper carry too with Jinx. Mm-hmm. So you're in a position where no matter what happens, if you can get to the late game, you will be stronger than any team that Truman was going to field at that time.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything that you can do because Lucian with a lead is very strong, but Lucian's going to fall off versus a hyper carry. Yeah. The same thing as you're seeing assassins like on Melior's Nico. Nico's very strong early, and assassins are very strong when they have a lead. But once you get into that later game where they can't just one-shot you and you're up against an Asol, mm-hmm. you're in a position where the longer that game goes, and we saw it went past 40 minutes, the harder it is going to be for Truman to do anything in that position. I think one of the biggest things there was end early for Truman. Mm-hmm. And I think they tried to do that a couple times, but the fights that they were taking, I see the vision. I see what they wanted to do in those fights, but the execution just wasn't there. And I think they kept going into those fights, and I don't know if it was a thing that they kept forcing those fights, but they felt very deliberate where they wanted to take those fights, and I think that's great. Mm-hmm. But I think just the execution at the end there, something wasn't happening, something wasn't going right, and I don't think Truman recognized that in time to actually make that difference there.
I think possibly what wasn't going right there was those. I think it was those teams' fights.
Yeah,
it was the fights that CMU was picking, mm-hmm. And they picked the fights instead of Truman picking the fights and where they felt like it had more of an advantage, mm-hmm. and so CMU found positions where they were favorable and then used that to their advantage and got those kills, and eventually were able to claw back that lead, bleed that lead out of Truman, and really it made a difference.
Yeah, it's a really rough position to see Truman in here. And while we were talking, I realized that I have the names on the wrong side. Truman is blue side is red side this time. So once I go in there to fix the stream, once we get into the actual game, I will have to run in there and fix that too. But that's not that hard of a fix. But I guess what adjustments. Like, we're looking for adjustments from both teams here based off of the game that they just played. Mm-hmm. I'll go first. For Truman, I think the adjustments that I want to see, I don't think their team comp was in any way, shape, or form bad. Mm-hmm. I think that it was definitely execution of team fights that made the difference there.
Yes.
As we were talking about previously, I think something needs to be said about it's always good to have a target, call a target, kill a target. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what you want to go into with every fight. And I think that target was needing to be Asol or needing to be Jinx. And I think they did have good execution in certain instances. If you recall to that Baron fight where Jinx inted into the middle of their team, or not, sorry, Jinx, the Vi inted into the middle of their team there. I think that was good isolation. Vi was in the middle. And so you just go onto the Vi, you take her out of the fight, and then that Baron fight is easier for you if you re-engage it. Mm-hmm. Things like that. Of course, you're not going to be in a position where the enemy jungler is just going to give themselves to four of you.
Yeah.
But I think you have to recognize positions like that where you can take those advantages and where you can sort of make those things happen, because they just have such a strong front line that the only way that you're going to make something happen is to use your stronger engage against them. You've got the Braum ult, you've got the Nico ult that can get in there, and you've got the jump into the stun from Jax. So if you're able to layer those efficiently and also make sure that you're going for the targets that you have to go after, I think that makes the difference there. And also being able to apply the pressure that they wanted to. They had so much pressure. Truman had so much pressure, and they were doing a good job of applying it, but they used it so aggressively in certain circumstances where, like I was saying in the middle of the game there, in a position where you are so strong, you want to be in a spot where you do not interact with the enemy team unless it's on your terms. Mm-hmm. You want to put somebody strong. So they say, okay, let's go pick up this bounty. But then you want to be doing something cross-map. Because the second you recognize that they're all rotating for this one position, you do something on the other side of the map. Yeah. Every single time. Especially if you have an objective up, that's what you want to keep doing. And I think Truman knows that is something that they should do. And I think in certain points, they were trying to do that. You saw a lot of those Jax splits into the Asol. And I think that's very good. It's very strong. But I think we need to see more of that, and I think Truman just needs to play that mid game better because their early game was so unbelievably strong. The first kill that they gave up, I think it was at least 10-1 at that point, and it was the only reason that the Jax died there was, I think, to get somebody out. Like, that's just that's a good death to take. You're keeping the rest of your team alive. So, I mean, I don't know what's going through their heads. We don't have their comms, of course. Yeah. So it's a thing of, like, we can only speculate on what should have happened there. But now it's a thing of what is Truman going to do to put themselves in a better position this game.
Yeah. And I think what Truman will do here is, like you said, find fights, hopefully, depending on how the early game goes, if they can use the early game to their advantage again, if that can work out. I think in the mid game, what Truman didn't do was, like you said, find fights that they wanted to fight instead. Instead, they were fighting fights that that Colorado was engaging on.
Right.
And because of that, instead of just backing off and not fighting that fight that you know that you don't want to fight, it caused Colorado to have to use that to their advantage and fight fights that were way more favorable to them instead.
100%, because the thing about Truman's comp there was if the Jax commits to the fight and gets in the middle of them, you have to commit all your resources to it.
Yeah,
like,
because
it's just a losing fight if you don't. So I think that's the pitfall that Truman kept falling into was the Jax committed and then Truman has to take that fight. And I think that's just what kept happening. So, no, Truman, no, ban's coming on the red side. Yeah, so Truman is going to be red side this time. So I will have to fix that. But
the ban on the Braum. That's a little interesting.
Yeah, Braum did a lot of work. Braum was a big part of why that bot lane worked. Interesting seeing Truman ban out the Lucian instead of Colorado banning out the Lucian. The Malphite ult. The Malphite and the Malphite ult. The Malphite ult's the first thing you think of when you see the rock. You think landslide.
I love Malphite. I am so excited to see Malphite. Oh, into his Shen. That is very interesting.
I think Shen wins that.
I'm pretty sure Shen wins that. I'm not entirely sure, but doesn't Shen's ability that shields him, wouldn't that stop the Malphite roll, or does that go through?
No. So you're not going to stop anything with. Oh, you're talking about that only blocks autos.
Okay.
Yeah, it only blocks autos. So yeah, Shen. Shen wins this until at least level 6. As long as he plays right, Shen just wins this lane, no questions asked.
I mean, there's a little bit of a slow that Malphite can pull out.
Yeah.
But I feel like, especially the way that Luma does play, is that... Okay, that makes sense in their context. Sorry.
Yeah. Of course, these bans came out first, and then picks. This was the order that everything got banned, and they probably picked in different orders. So, we don't see the actual pick ban phase that they go through. So, it looks like they're delaying this next pick. Maybe they don't know what this ban was supposed to be. There's a Nocturne ban. Yeah, so I'm interested to see what the bot lanes look like here. I always want to put my trust and my faith into Bees and Horse in the bot lane.
Yes.
There's never a time where I see them draft a bot lane where I'm like, okay, this is probably not going to work out. Every time I see them play a bot lane, it's like, okay, let's watch them cook somehow with what they're going to pick. I want to see the Zeri. I want to see Zeri come out, but it's probably not going to happen.
Something very interesting from Colorado here was the fact that they did not ban an ADC.
That's true. They did not ban an ADC, and it looks like they're willing to give Bees the Jinx.
Give Bees the Jinx.
Taking a Syndra APC. This will be interesting.
We've seen Truman play against an APC before, and it worked out pretty well.
Not a Syndra though.
It was not a Syndra. No, it was Lux.
I think it was a Lux. So we've seen a Seraphine too. Oh, Syndra and Renata Glass. No way. There's no way that we're actually picking a Yuumi here. This has to be a meme. There's no way Truman's drafting Yuumi right now. Horse is messing with us. There it is. Okay. The real pick. The real pick. I was about to say, there's no way Truman drafts Yuumi. Okay. What are your thoughts about both sides of these drafts here? Let's talk Colorado Mesa first.
Something interesting, and that we've seen Truman being able to play this position well, is that Colorado Mesa does not have a proper tank. Unless...
Skarner's a proper tank. 100% Skarner's a tank. Skarner is so tanky.
I know. I was thinking...
That is Skarner, the crab.
I was thinking about...
You're familiar with how everything turns into crabs? That's Skarner. Skarner's the reason for that.
I was thinking he was a bruiser. Maybe I'm wrong.
He can be built bruiser, but he's traditionally a tank.
Okay.
He has... Yeah.
But only one traditional tank. We've seen Truman be able to use that. Having only one tank and one proper front line, it once Truman has been able to really solo out the back line because of the only one tank, because the positioning isn't so well. Although there is a lot of CC from Colorado.
Yeah, I mean, you have Malphite ult. You've got a slow from Malphite probably on that Q there. You've got Skarner's ability to slow. He's got his ultimate. Yone's got his ultimate. You've got Syndra being able to E and then W a ball towards you. And then, of course, her ultimate's very strong. Renata's CC is really condensed down to, I want to say it's her E, her handshake. But, of course, with her ultimate, it's going to be very strong. And I think that's scary for the Jinx. But... I still want to say Truman's draft is a little bit better. You don't see a true ADC coming from Colorado Mesa. You see so much AP. Yone is the only person on their team that's really going to do any AD. So Shen kind of is in a position where he just builds AP.
Yeah, I think, and that might work out for Truman. Having only one type of damage for your team, it isn't necessarily the worst thing in the world, but also you don't have a second option. Truman now can just only build AP protection,
right?
But it is the main thing they build, and that can really shut down a lot of the damage that Colorado is going to be putting out.
Yeah, 100%. And I think so. I think there's just a very strong advantage to Truman's early game, especially in the bot lane. Like I think most of these lanes have advantage. Truman, Shen is one of the strongest early game level 1, level 2, level 3 champions that there is, and into a Malphite who's significantly weaker. I mean, he's nothing to scoff at.
No.
He's got that early armor and he's got that early shield, but I think Shen is just better.
Yes.
And I think well, maybe not the same reason, but I think the bot lane is just stronger. Level 2, you're definitely very, very strong. Cinder's going to be able to poke you, and Renata's maybe going to be able to poke you, and she's going to be able to punish Rakan's engages. But outside of that, I mean, maybe you don't quite get outranged, but Jinx and Rakan can put off enough pressure that I think it's going to be really difficult for them to play this lane. And then I think the mid lane, it's pretty even. Yone, I think Meliora said it best at one point that that is just a stupid champ. I don't think that was the exact quote. It was something to the effect of that. I just hate that champion.
I mean, I get it. I like Yone. I really like Yone. I like his character a little bit, and I think his playstyle is fun. I'm not good at him. I'm horrible with mid laners like Yasuo and Yon. I'm definitely that person in your game that's going like 0 and 10 when I play mid lane because it is just not my position. But yes, Yone is a stupid champion. But I'm interested to see how Truman plays here. Looking at all the items that were bought here, just trying to gauge on what Truman's thoughts are here. Yone, interestingly enough, didn't go for the blade, but instead the shield. And the rest of the items, of course, are going to make a little bit of sense. Oh no! Oh no! If possibly the flash here over the wall, but you just give that kill up.
Yeah, you just accept your fate in that position. That's just unfortunate.
That was unfortunate.
It goes to Malphite. Malphite's probably, I mean, he's probably building tank, but maybe he builds the AP here. It's a 50-50 which one he goes for. Yeah. I honestly think he's probably going to go tankier. But
just considering his team comp, I think he might have to.
I think he just wants to, but I mean, we'll see. He's going to be a really good he's going to be really good into the Kindred and into the Jinx. I mean, with the bonus armor that he's going to get from his Granite Shield. I mean, it's just very strong.
Yeah. So
not the thing that you really want to see early, but I mean, First Blood's off the table now. Nobody else can get First Blood, right?
Yes. That's the advantage that we have here. We already gave up First Blood.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, hey, strategic plays. Sometimes the plays need to be strategic like that, you know?
Yeah, that's why I run it down mid every time. I try to give up First Blood, so nobody else on my team has to go through the embarrassment of giving up First Blood.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's quite a noble decision to make. I'll take First Blood, guys. Let me be the one to die.
I'll be the one to do it.
Don't worry,
it's my job. It's my burden to bear.
Oh my gosh. I am my own champion, faults and all. Little quote there that somebody might get. Who knows? But I didn't use the actual. Oh my gosh! The double knockup from Horus. That was Biggle. Yeah, big and double. Two. That's a new word, right? I don't really like that word, but
Bigly.
It was a bigly double knockup. All right, get the giggles out.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I want this to be. We need to have a positive mindset coming into this. That's a huge wave. The limit just crashed into that. Mentally, Truman just needs to be in this game. I think if you are too hard on yourself, especially in a best of 3 series, if your mental's not good in going into game 2 and you've lost game 1, it's just going to make it that much harder. So I think Truman's the best way they recover is to be good mentally. Mm-hmm. Of course, giving up First Blood is never going to make your mental that good. However, positivity on the team will. And I think there's no one that is quite as interesting and positive as Luma.
That is true.
I have spent a lot of time listening to them and playing with them all. And if there had to be one thing that I'd say, ooh, the knockup going to go on to the
almost another Biggle.
Yeah, almost another Biggle. I think if there was definitely one thing that I could say about Luma, it is just the enthusiasm and the energy that he brings to top lane is just unrivaled. I love listening to him call things and talk about how like plays are going to go because there's just a lot of passion there. So shout out to him. Absolutely. Like that's I'm on my soapbox here. Shout out to him.
Shout out to Luma. Funny, smart.
A gamer, some would say.
A gamer, a top laner.
Yes, a top laner.
As there's a little bit of stuff happening on the map right now.
Not too much. I mean, you're gonna see some posturing for these scuttle crabs. There's not much else that's really gonna be happening here.
Well,
I mean,
big wave up top, crashing into Shin.
This could have something happen here, but nothing's gonna
No,
happen.
the vision was there, and Colorado just backs up.
Yep, that's the play.
Yeah, that's just smart. It's what you want to do.
Ooh, that's that big. Yeah, look at that. All right, so hopefully Melior's going to be able to get out of that. Yeah. Ooh, we're going to get hit. He got taken by the ability from the Skarner here, but now you're going to have Halo coming in here, and you're going to have the Rakan rotate.
Coming in, going for a nice kill on the Rakan, so it's whatever. But
yeah,
a kill is a kill.
I mean, yeah, you take what you can get, and that secures Dragon if they want to take it.
Yes, they now have. I'm not entirely sure they're going for it because the bot line is still strong there. But they definitely are in. No, they're just not going to.
No, I mean, you lost a lot of pressure in bot.
Yeah.
And you didn't have a lot of pressure in mid there, so there's not much that you can do. Best to recover, get some resets off, and then maybe look for the Dragon later. I think that's the best play. Melior is going to take that TP mid. And since Yone is roaming, I think Melior probably expected that Yone went for a back here, so... Good pressure coming from the Rakan to keep the Syndra off of that wave.
Bill in emote win.
Yeah, true. I think we can work on that. I don't think they'll let us have that.
No. Just right. Nothing. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine. You're fine. I would like Sherman to have its own emotes eventually, but
that'd be really fun.
Yes, we'll get our graphic design team on that. We definitely have.
Yes, the 8 people on our graphic design team.
Yes, yeah, all eight people. That's totally not more like double the staff members that we have.
Yeah, because that's all where all the money goes for Truman's Esports.
Well, yeah, of course, all into the graphic design.
All into the graphic design. You guys see our post on Instagram.
Yeah, of course. We to get off the meme here, we're gonna see Colorado. Colorado is going to be taking those first grubs there, and I think Truman. I saw the ping that we're probably going to be looking for the Dragon here, especially if you see now the Void grubs. Everybody's going to see that the Void grubs were taken after that third one goes down. So now that something's going to need to be happening, this might not be the best position for Melior to be in, but she's going to walk backwards.
Yes, that's smart. Yeah, knowing that the grubs were just taken and that there's something going on there. Mm-hmm. The Malphite has not ulted there yet.
Nope.
Truman is focusing hard onto that drag, trying to get that. There isn't. It doesn't look like Colorado is going to do much of anything here.
Nah, it doesn't look like there's much of position. This is going to be a little bit scary. Going to be getting the stun, and then Horse is going to have to disengage with that E. Going to go back in that the.
But going back and re-engaging, but you have to watch out for the Skarner in their back line, but it works out. Oh, and the teleport in from Shin getting the kill on both the bot lane, and Halo gets out while they can still chase here, possibly getting the great kill on the Skarner, and having to force the Yone to ult to get out of there. That was a great job by Truman, getting that objective and focusing who they needed to focus on.
100%. That was my bad. I totally started commentating the fight, even though I knew it was going to be your fight. That's totally my bad.
It's okay.
Yeah. But the next one's mine. I get the next fight.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Even if it's like 3 seconds.
Mom said it's my turn.
Mom said it's my turn to commentate the fight. But yeah, that's a great pickup. You get a triple kill into the Jinx. I mean, hyper carry, being able to hyper carry sooner.
Yes, that's very good. I think, interestingly enough, I think Truman recognized the fact that that their team wasn't as scaly as it could have been, and so with the Jinx, that's a good scaling champion. I'm not so sure about the rest of the team.
For Truman?
For Truman, yeah.
So, yes, so Kindred, you do have some scaling on Kindred. She stacks her passive. She's got those marks. Once she gets to 7, she scales. Like, it's getting 7 stacks is very, very strong onto the Kindred. So that's definitely something they're going to be looking for. Nobody else on their team really scales, but, I mean, Shen is going to scale very well. I mean, his ultimate is just so strong and makes such a big difference. And Rakan, the same thing. A big ult, a big difference that he can make there. So, even though you only have 2 people... Oh! That was almost a legend.
It was almost a bagel.
That was almost very legendary. The double big knockup.
But just some fighting in lane. Meliora is doing some good damage here against that Yone. Surprisingly enough, although Meliora says that Yone is a super champ, I haven't, and when it comes to, Yasuo and stuff, I haven't seen Meliora do, a horrible job when it comes into those champions.
No, I think, honestly, you kind of project your hatred of one of the 2 Wind brothers onto the other one. Everybody hates Yasuo, especially, I mean, if you're an Ahri player, you just hate Yasuo with every fiber of your being.
Yeah.
And I think you just project that onto his brother because, they're, basically the same champion, right?
The only difference is... the E and the W.
Well, their ultimates are different.
Well, yeah, of course, their ultimates are different. They can play into each other.
That is true. Yone Yasuo bot lane is something that you curse upon your enemies, and you hope that you do well, because if you don't do well, you were just throwing.
I've done it before. It didn't go very well.
Ooh, this is going to be a big double fight here, and it's going to be my fight to commentate, so we're going to see the Halo's going to go forward, and they're going to get some damage onto him, but they're going to miss the taunt, and that fight is over. That's all I get.
Not a lot of action.
Yeah, unfortunately. But
some damage.
Yeah, some good damage. You're going to force the Malphite to hopefully back, and if Malphite doesn't back in this position, you're probably going to be in a stronger position. Ooh. A little handshake throwing you backwards there, but ooh. They're going to see Rakan's going to go forward. He's going to be able to get 2. They're going to be the Renata ult in the back line, and then Bees is just going to be pushed off there. You're going to see, it looks like the Skarner was trying to do an ultimate there. You're going to see, that might have been Meliora's going to dash through it. It looks like they're going to continue to chase this fight. Rakan's probably going to look for the re-engage. They're going to be the flash forward. That's going to be the double ult from the Skarner, and then they're going to see the Syndra is going to be able to get her ult there. It's going to be shutting down on the Bees, and Meliora's just going to be in the back line, going to be able to take out at least one, I forget what that ability is called, off of the Renata, but now Meliora is going to be in a position where she has to fight 2, and it's just going to be rough. Oh, Luma's going to come in. You're going to be the teleport. That's going to be the ultimate. That's going to be taking down the Skarner, and then they're going to look to try to maybe make something happen there. Of course, there's going to be the Yone ult onto the mid lane there, onto the Halo. Halo is going to pop the ultimate just to prevent himself from dying, and he's just going to walk backwards.
Yeah. That wasn't a horrible fight from Truman. Obviously, you lose... there's a kill on both Jinx and Rakan, but it wasn't necessarily complete loss there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you still do at least pick up 2 there, and you get the shutdown on the Syndra, which is very rough.
You mean the Jinx?
You get the shutdown from Jinx onto Syndra.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Syndra's going to be with that Luden's companion. I've only ever built Yun Tao's once, and Jinx has Yun Tao's built first. I am interested to see. This is going to be a team fight that you're going to be interested in here.
Shin's going in for the stun, and Rakan with a big ol' knockup, getting both the Skarner and the Malphite there, and there's Yone coming in with his E, and Truman's looking to try and get a kill on the Malphite there. Oh, he's almost down. Oh, the Jinx got the auto, and now they're trying to get some extra kills there, getting the kill on the Renata, and getting the kill on hopefully the Skarner here. They can squeak it out. There we go. Good positioning from Truman and good focusing on which champion to kill there.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the way that they played that. Rakan was able to get a bunch of knockups there that was very important, and they were able to play well off of that. Especially Rakan being able to flash forward into the quickness, which is his ultimate. If you didn't know what the name of the ultimate was there, the quickness is going to be able to go in there. Ooh, Meliora is going to be aggressive here, going to be going for it. It might be the case that it's going to lock it down. Jinx ult was there to confirm.
Yes,
just in case.
But if you're keen eye, we saw that Meliora got the I think it was the E on. Oh, okay. Horse getting out of there, but got the E on to the Syndra and was able to dash back over.
Yeah, totally. So this is gonna be a little bit of a rough position from Truman here. They definitely want to pull the dragon out. Skarner's able to just go over this wall at any time. The difference here is going to be the health pools between these two teams. Horse is getting lower and lower as he continues to tank this, and then Skarner's going to be coming in here. But now Skarner's alone, so Truman has one of two decisions here. Skarner is going to be able to get the dragon, going to get the smite off before them, but now Skarner's just in a position where he's probably just going to die, and they're going to trade a life for a dragon. Not the position you definitely want to be in there, especially when it's going to be a... That's going to be I was going to say the Ignite Dragon, but that's not what it is. It's the Infernal Dragon.
Yeah.
My bad for not remembering what kind of dragon that was.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I was looking at the wrong thing. I was getting confused, but I now am no longer confused. But the bot is switching to mid as we see a slight scuffle between Malphite and Shin here. Not too much going on, but Halo is out in the enemy jungle.
But, okay, I think something important to point out here is they use 2 ultimates to take out Halo there. They're going to get this Rift Herald, like there's no question about it, but they had to sacrifice the Syndra ultimate and they used the Renata ultimate, so this Rift Herald is just free for them, but the thing about it is Truman's going to be able to play around the map if they are smart and able to get something and trade it for that life there and this objective that they're going to be getting. So hopefully Truman's able to get a tower somewhere, they'll rotate here,
rotate in, but they have to pay attention to... This isn't a wholly good position, but they know that Shin has the ability to teleport, and Meliora was able to teleport in and try to get this fight as they are fighting on the Malphite, catching him out. They have to get this kill here so they can... there's the Renata ability, and it got the kill on the Malphite. Meliora is doing a good job focusing, but got pinned against the wall. But Truman is focusing down the Skarner and the Yone and getting the kills on both of them. But now Renata is the only one left out, and Jinx is just chasing her down. But now it's under tower, not too much to do.
That was a really interesting fight from Truman there. I mean, Meliora picked up a lot of important kills that took her first death, but that's not the biggest issue in the world. Of course, they do not get the Herald buff, but that puts them in a great position. They should at least get 2 towers from that play. And you're going to see the teleport come in here from the Syndra to the mid lane to try to slow them down and prevent them from getting that tower. I have the hiccups now. I apologize. Yeah, I mean, Truman took a really good fight there, and they were able to use their resources effectively. They had good target communication. I think that's something that we wanted to see there. The only difference was, of course, you don't get that objectives, but you do ruin a lot of their momentum and a lot of the tempo that they gained from getting that objective. So Truman at least is, slowing the bleed that they're seeing.
Of course, we see Truman Shin's caught out here, but of course Shin just has an ability to get away from Malphite. Although Malphite can throw that Q out there, I don't believe it's enough to really do enough on Shin's movement speed. Ooh, some big damage out of there from Meliora.
Yeah, that got the electrocute proc off too. That's definitely a position you want Meliora to be in. Now Yone is just going to have to respect this. Rakan caught out, but it doesn't matter. It's Rakan. It's whatever. He jumps over a wall. He's fine. This is going to be an interesting fight. Shen's definitely going to take this here. Blocking those melees there and making him take the damage in the tower. There was really smart what he did there. Because he has... this is going to be great. His ultimate there, Meliora played that so clean. Oh my gosh. The reason why that worked there top for Shen is because he has a Balmy Cinder item. So if you hit him, that procs his Balmy Cinder is going to make it start burning. So even though he doesn't attack you, he's going to start taking tower damage because he's doing damage to you with Balmy Cinder.
Yes.
So that was very smart there. Where was that W going?
I don't know.
There was a vision. There was a vision.
There was a vision. There was something going on in Beast's brain.
Ooh, those traps you can catch one. There's going to be the quick, and it's going to be the double knock-up from Horse, and it is just going to be cleaning up there. You're going to see the bailout there go on to the Renata of all people, not your Syndra, the one that's going to be able to do damage, and that's just going to be an easy fight there. Very good. We're seeing a lot of double knock-up action coming from this Rakan.
I'm one more last time, a nice big ol' knock-up. I'll try
to see it.
I don't want to kill the joke. Don't want to say it every time there's a big ol' knockup.
But
that was a big ol' knockup.
That was true. That was the Horse special. Oh my gosh, the long play there from the recast on that dagger there. Oh! Meliora disrespecting the Yone under tower.
Meliora is doing a great job playing very aggressively, but recognizing that although you're playing aggressively, that you can't go in completely, and keeping good vision and watching out for people that are trying to catch Meliora out, especially in a position where she's fighting against a Yone under tower.
Yeah, I mean, Truman's doing a really good job of recovering from this game. Unfortunately, Lumen's in a very rough position here.
Yes.
If he would have been able to save that, you're going to take the flash.
Yeah.
The other way that you get out is you hope that they don't do enough damage before you're able to just dash over that wall. But of course, you're dealing with Skarner, so it's not a great position. Horse also not in a great position here. Under tower by himself versus 3. I think you just have to take this death, but Bees is going to be here.
And then there's Halo, and making this fight even, and possibly doing something, and Shin comes back down, and Skarner grabs, but that isn't enough to do anything, and Shin is caught, Skarner is caught all by himself and has to run away, taking big damage as they continue to chase, and Horse is trying to get back in there.
Handshake's going to come out on the Horse, and Horse that's going to slow their fight there, but they took a lot of damage, and they didn't really get much from that. I mean, top tower is pushing up here. But they're going to be able to push mid basically free because they reset 3 out of the 5 team members. You're going to see, it looks like that is going to be the Rift Herald going down in the bot lane. You're forcing the TP out of the Syndra mid. But, oh my gosh, they're just going to disrespect her under the tower.
Oh, and there's Malphite into the backline.
Oh, that's just a rough position to be in. Flash forward from the Syndra, they're going to be trying to slow down and kill Horse, but they still take the tower, but that is a shutdown. Was it the shutdown to Malphite? Syndra getting that bounty on that Jinx. That's the second bounty she's got, both on Jinx.
Both on Jinx. But that isn't necessarily a bad position for Truman here. They still have that gold lead. This was the position that they were in last time. They were up, and I think we're continuing to see it here, is that they're taking fights that they want to fight, and getting kills that they want to kill, or getting kills that they actually want and are in a better position for. Truman is doing a lot better with their positioning when it comes to those team fights and using their vision to their advantage.
Yeah, it's definitely a much more even space in this game so far. Actually, something interesting, I think at one point Colorado actually had a 3K gold lead, and now that's switched. Truman now has that 3K gold lead. I want to say, I don't know if I'm pulling these numbers from my brain or not, but I think that's what I saw. So Truman definitely is putting themselves in a position where they're taking what they're giving them, and they're also playing aggressive where they need to and making those big plays that's really turning this game into their favor. Of course, it's still only 20 minutes in. We're in the mid game now, and we're just going to see how they're going to answer this.
Be careful here. Of course, there is Kindred and Jinx down there to protect the good positioning, good rotation by Truman to protect the Rakan there from when trying to get the vision. And Shin also came down to help with that team fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good positioning there from Truman, recognizing what you have to do here. Bees is in a very rough position here, taking a lot of chip damage you just don't need to from that Syndra. I'm interested to see what happens here. Meliora's got a 2-level lead on this Yone. I feel like Meliora might just be able to crash and take this tower.
Yeah.
Honestly. Of course, you're not going to be able to see that. Oh, no. Never mind.
Yeah,
Yone is going to ult the whole wave to stop the pressure. Gonna see a little bit of damage, and the exhaust. Horse is gonna go in, not gonna be slowed down, but there's gonna be the double charm. Halo's good. Oh my gosh, the Shen ultimate in there was gonna try to make something happen there, but of course nothing's gonna come out of that. Although they're putting themselves in a pretty decent position to get this Baron. They have relieved a lot of that pressure, and then of course you have the Yone just stuck bot facing up against Meliora.
If they can finally get this Baron here, I think it'll put them in a very good position. They just have to keep, and very smart, using their vision to their... wait, they didn't have vision there. Never mind.
They saw the Malphite.
They saw the Malphite, and if somebody's posturing that this fight is going to happen, Truman played it smart and backed off.
Yeah, absolutely, because the one person you don't have vision on is the jungler there, and if you don't have vision on the jungler, you don't want to take that fight.
Yeah.
If they had a ward in their bot side and they said, oh, okay, Skarner's bot side, this might be a fight that's winnable, they might take it. But it's a really important rule that they've been pushing this entire season is if you don't see somebody on map, you have to assume that at the fight you're at, they're going to be there.
Yeah.
And of course, anybody can fall victim to that. I have fallen victim to that myself, many a times. So I mean, you just have to recognize that. And so Truman looks like, rather than going for that Baron fight, they're going to get a reset off here and look for the dragon. And it is going to be a mountain dragon, which, it's going to be much stronger on Colorado, but it's still good for Truman to get that. I mean, just like last time, you want those extra resistances. Has it been 2 mountain drakes in a row?
Yes.
It has been 2 mountain souls in a row. That is kind of crazy. I expected... if this game goes to a game 3 and it's mountain again, I think somebody needs to play the lottery. Something needs to happen there.
I will.
All right.
I'll waste my money, the little that I have.
Yes. I mean, I think it's just... it's not uncommon to have 3... Oh, that's gonna be something big there. Rakan's gonna go in there. You're gonna get one. It's gonna be the quickness is gonna go up, and then there's gonna be the ultimate coming out from the Skarner. But it does not matter. You're gonna see the Jinx ultimate come out too. That was big. That was big.
That was very good, and used going in and focusing that the Ramatra.
That is the Renata.
Renata, sorry. Focusing the Renata down and stopping her from getting any health back for the rest of the team, and then focusing on the Skarner because he's the only one that actually went in there was very smart.
Yes, my favorite tank from Overwatch. Renata Glass. You got those two mixed up. Ramatra is the tank.
Oh, that's why I was like, why did that word come up?
Yes. I recognized it. Yes, my favorite tank.
Yeah, I love playing Glaska's tank.
Yeah, no, one of my favorite tanks. Honestly, I really enjoyed the gameplay loop of. And then, oh no, I have a staff. I have a staff again.
Don't get me talking about Overwatch.
Yeah, well, we're playing League of Legends right now.
I have some choice words.
Oh my gosh!
Yone out here,
Yone
forcing out to get that ult out there, and I'm flashing in for it. Oh, the big ult! That was great.
The rocket, it's disgusting. Oh my gosh, you didn't have to do that to him.
Now Truman's in a good position here. They might possibly think for the reset on not Kai'Sa. Oh my gosh.
What do you...
The mid laner.
The mid laner?
Yes.
On the Akali?
The Akali. My gosh, my names and me are awful.
Maybe we just need your spreadsheet of every
I do.
And their headshots so you can just scroll through it really fast.
That one.
The one with the name, the one with the face.
The one with the they throw stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Luma's going to be going in for this 2v1 here, and I think the position is just to slow them down so they're able to do something on the top side. There's fights happening all across the map. Everybody in Truman is engaged with a fight against the Colorado players. There's going to be the Malphite going down first. Truman's going to be looking to get this tower here, and then you're going to see the Yone show up here. They're going to posture aggressively, and Truman just has to back away, and that puts them into a very, very, very strong position for this Baron, which is probably the play they wanted to make originally.
Yes, that was what I was trying to say. Was that Akali was going to reset, and they were going to set up for that Baron, but I forgot Akali's name.
Yes. I mean, I think is it truly a good Truman stream if one of us doesn't forget the name of something?
I forget the name of something like every 5 minutes.
Yeah, honestly, I think I do a little bit better, but I have forgotten. Like, I think there was the time where I forgot what a Riftmaker was called. I think that was like the first stream. But good Baron from Truman here. Yes. I mean, exactly what you want to see. They're going to be able to push their lanes in every The wave positions here are really good for Truman. You're able to push top, you're able to push mid, you're able to push bot. And they're pushing into you, so you could exert pressure on all sides. I think Truman, probably the optimal thing for them to do is do a 1-3-1. Mm-hmm. 1 top, 3 mid, 1 bot, and just continue to put that pressure on every lane and make them have to make a decision. Because I think, especially with the Akali and with the Shen, they are so strong on those side lanes that you have to commit to one of them.
Yes. And I think we're already seeing that there now with Skarner's committing to the Akali in this fight possibly, or at least is trying to clear that wave. Not entirely sure that Skarner knows that it's Akali yet, or if he does, he's now just seeing her. And this is not a good fight for that Skarner.
This is so bad. Oh. You want to know what the difference maker is? Look at Skarner's build. Skarner has built only armor. That is an AP champion, and he has built only armor.
And most importantly was that 5-level difference.
Yeah, that would do it too. But I like how we're talking about this, and there's currently a fight happening. There's this fight here. This is going to be a really big fight here if there's going to be too much damage coming from Beast here. But of course, the tank fight, we go back to the tank fight because this is very important.
Yes, this is
interesting. Luma's going to play for this, and Luma's just going to get the kill off of, Shendif.
Yeah, Shindiff and Truman was able to survive that out and just continue to push this. Yone is going in, but they have so much damage. If Yone can't actually catch somebody out there, I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah, Truman has to play very safe here. You have everybody that's really low. Of course, everybody on the side of Colorado is low too, but you don't want to press that's too hard. I mean, you're going to have Baron buff for at least about another 15 seconds, so you want to be able to get something out of it.
I think Truman just has to reset here. Luna is just looking for that objective. Obviously, can just get out of there and not have to worry about the Skarner.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, honestly, interesting. The little. This is going to be interesting here. Honestly, yeah. Luma, I think it just has to die there. I think if Luma saw that, maybe there was the difference maker. Maybe you get out of that, but that's not the worst thing. Honestly, I think Luma was playing that position. I will die for this tower because this tower needs to go down.
Yeah, I think that was the idea even before, was just focusing on that tower while the Skarner was there. We've currently Meliora is in their jungle stealing their chickens. So
yeah, I mean, you starve them out. That's like the thing that you want to do.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Good play. And now that Meliora was there, Meliora was able to position for the drag and get some vision in there, so that Truman has an idea of what's going on here.
Yeah, so Truman is at a disadvantage at this drag fight. They have all 5, but they're missing their wonderful Shen. So the thing that they're probably going to do here is if they're going to start this dragon... Oh my gosh! Rakan Wing over to get the Blast Cone is such a mood.
Shin is up now and has ult. So... Colorado has to know that, and so if they don't pay attention to that, Shin is going to be able to teleport in right now and be able to turn the tide of this fight. If it happens, maybe not, but Truman gets the kill on the Malphite, gets possibly the kill on the Skarner there, and Truman was able to clean the rest of that up with Shin and Rakan there.
Yeah, I think the difference maker in that was the timing of that Kindred ult there. There was a lot of things going on there. Yes. So we saw the Yone flank from behind, use his ultimate to get a big knockup, and then we saw the Renata ult come through and claim quite a few. This Syndra is continuing to pick up kills here, but the Flash is going to come out here. Luma, I mean, there's really you're in a position where you can chase this as Luma. I mean, you have almost all MR items. Like, she's not going to do as much damage to you, and as soon as you catch up with her, she's
dead.
She's just going to die.
Yeah.
I think the big difference maker in that fight was definitely the ult coming out from the Kindred. The Kindred was able to keep that Jinx alive, and with that Jinx alive, you were able to stop the bailout from the Renata Glask, and the Skarner did still kill the Jinx, but Jinx traded for that, and they were still able to get that dragon. So that's Mountain Soul on Truman.
Yes. Which is Truman has the tide against with them right now with almost a 9k gold lead here now.
A 20 kill lead.
A 20 kill lead. Truman is in a better position to end this game, and they have them pushed up. They have them all to inhib tower. Truman, they just have to continue to do what they've been doing, pushing these side lanes and getting into their base and setting up for these objectives. They're doing this very well. They're thinking this. They're thinking about this a lot, and they've been able to play their positions very well. And there is a large level lead for both Meliora and for Shin here.
Yeah, I think the difference maker here is they're probably going to be looking to set up for this Baron. You see Jinx is pinging it. It's exactly 1 minute. Everybody's going to be rotating for this Baron. And this Baron, if they get it, is probably going to decide this game here. Just because with the positions of their waves, you've got top wave pushing in, you've got bot wave pushing in. They have such a good advantage.
If they can get the kill out here.
Oh, and that's going to be, Renata Glass is just going to die there.
And the kill on Syndra. Truman is in a fantastic position now.
Yeah, I think if you're Truman, you think, maybe we could end here. But honestly, it might just be worth waiting for that Baron. Truman looks like they're not going to wait for the Baron. They're just going to take their advantage here. I mean, you've got 30 seconds down on 2 of their teammates. You have a lot of pressure that you can exert here. And of course, that's going to... Skarner's not going to be taking this. But let's go ahead and walk this down here. Meliora's going to be able to get some big damage on that. Yone going to dash in. Oh my gosh, the bouncing around like a ping pong ball.
And the Shen!
The Shen ult into the E coming out from Horse. Horse is going to dash in and keep that Shen alive, and you're just going to see the damage coming from Beast from the side there. There's just no tower, so they're just not able to do anything. Tower's not going to target anybody that's important. They're gonna walk this down. That should just be the game as long as Truman plays this fight right. The only thing they have to worry about is landslide and going to be the ult coming out from the Renata here. You just have to make sure that your Jinx can dodge it.
Yes, and the ult coming from
There's going to be the Renata ult. And it does not catch your Jinx there, so Jinx is going to be able to keep playing this fight, and they're just going to play it slow. We're going to see the Meliora is going to go in there, and you're going to see Horse is going to miss out on that fight. They're going to be the double from the... Oh my gosh, Halo with the ults! Oh, he gets back in! Oh, this is so close. Okay. Yeah,
no, they're cleaning up now.
Yeah, they're cleaning up. Yeah, there's just so much happening there. Bees almost died.
Yes, but Halo did a very good job in ulting on them, and Truman is able to glitch out, or not glitch out. They're able to do this next match.
Yeah, and I think that's a good return of form for Truman. Like, you want to see them take the advantages that they have, and you want to make sure that they are taking those plays that they know they can make. And capitalize on it. And I think this is the difference that we saw here. Their late game was so much better, and their mid game was so much better. The difference is how they played those fights. Even though some of those fights they did lose, they kept up the pressure exactly how they should, and I think that's really important.
It was something that we were talking about during the break as well. Is that Truman has to keep something that we didn't mention as much was keeping up pressure. Something that I probably should have mentioned was keeping up that pressure the whole time, because it was something that was faltering a little bit with Truman during that mid game last time, and I think that was in part because of the fact that they were in those positions where they thought they could get this kill, but it really didn't work out for them, and they actually were disadvantaged in those fights. But we saw from here was Truman kept up that pressure, kept up where they wanted to get fights and how they wanted to get fights, picking out people individually. They did a very, very good job in this game, focusing on who they wanted to get kills on, and we see it again. Sherman doing very well against an APC. The game that we had, at least I had seen before, where they played it in APC, they did very well, and they did very well this time as well. If Truman just has to keep up this momentum going into this next game, and if they can pull this out, and that's one win closer to being in the NACE championship, being in the NACE championship and being in NACE playoffs. So I'm excited to see what's coming up for this next game, because there's a lot of questions that can be asked here.
But we are actually, I'm going to go ahead and give us a little bit of a break here. I mean, commentating for, we're approaching at least an hour and a half. I can't see how long the streams are going. Yeah, we're approaching 2 hours. So we're actually going to take a 5-minute break here.
Okay.
Yes, we're going to take a 5-minute break here, and then we're going to be back to you hopefully whenever the pick band stage is going. So thank you for sticking around here. But I do think that we deserve a bathroom and a water break. So yes, we will be right back with you in just a few minutes.
Okay, back at it. As I see, I know we're a little delayed, so this conversation is happening in the past, sort of, for me. Some conversation from the chat about who's going to win this game, and what this round is going to come down to. And I have some ideas. What I really think it is. I'm interested to see from CMU is what they go for comp wise, because that can be very interesting into how this game ends out. Because as we saw from CMU last time, is that when they were playing with those proper tanks up top, or when it came to the jungle and the mid lane and that kind of thing, it was working out well for them. They were able to keep that front line and mitigate some of that damage off their squishies when it came down to it.
I don't want to make you have to talk this out. So if you want to be the one that they need to, we don't know what side they're playing yet. I was coming back because, well, I wanted it to be a thing of like, I didn't want you to have to talk this entire time by yourself, especially if they weren't going to be in. It looks like Truman's going to pick blue side, so
okay.
It's up to you. Do you want me to go switch it over? Do you not want to get up?
I could keep on talking.
Okay, that's fine. Let me go switch it real quick.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure that you weren't yapping by yourself forever.
Okay. But from Truman is that my gosh, I got distracted. Is that if that kind of team comp happens, I think Truman can still play with it. They've shown that they obviously can play with those kind of team comps beforehand, and they just have to play around their strengths and their carries that they have, and making sure that those carries don't get caught out, and making sure that they play smart with their vision, and they play smart overall. That can really come in. That can be a very main factors in how intelligent they're going to play. Because it's very important. If they find picks that they can actually take, find ganks that they want to take, just playing smart overall is going to be a big factor in this game. And seeing the team comps and the bans will also will give a little more information. I don't know. Seeing these last two rounds, it's very interesting. Because I think the main difference between the first round and the second round was that Truman wasn't being as aggressive, but was being aggressive in situations where they knew that it was smart, and it actually played to them instead of being aggressive in like the mid lane and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a really big difference, and I think it's gonna make the difference here. The way that Truman plays this is really important. It's good that Truman won this game too. Not only for the fact that, of course, you're actually in a position where you can win this,
yeah,
but also they have all of that momentum behind them, and I think that's really important. Truman's coming off of this win, and Truman's not really a team like, after they drop a map, they're not the team to be and like get that map back. They're not a team like, oh yeah, like this is an easy win. They're gonna lock in.
Yeah, this Truman is. I mean, I definitely, we know that they can lock in, and I think that's what's being repeated over and over and over again during the preparation for this next game, is that lock in. We lock in.
we lock in our champs. We lock in our brains. We lock in our hearts that we're gonna win it.
And we lock in our bands, obviously.
That's true. Lock in the bands.
Lock in the bands. Just lock in everything, and this can definitely be a good game for Truman.
Yeah. Just because we're still waiting for those bans to come through, they do have some. I think they have about 5 minutes that they're allowed to spend before everybody has to be in there, and they're actually going to have to start the draft and ban phase. I do want to, pose, I want to pose a couple questions. So first of all, to the chat, I want to pose the question to the chat. Who do you think is the MVP for Truman so far? Out of these 2 games, who do you think is, the top dog? I get it because they're the Bulldogs. Oh, such a great joke for me. The knee slapper. Who do you think is the top dog coming from Truman here? Who do you think, if you had to guess who's going to be the biggest force in this next game, who do you think it's going to be? I'll pose that question to you first, but I do want to say also that for how long we have been doing this, the two of us, just for this semester, how have we not made the chat is this real joke? We haven't made that joke yet.
We haven't communicated very much with the chat, and that's because we're limited in the fact that we're minutes ahead of
yes,
them.
That's true. That's true.
And so it kind of makes it hard to communicate with the chat. But I'll raise my finger and be like, chat, is this real?
Yeah, totally. Sometimes you have to think did that just happen?
Did that just happen?
Of course, we do yell clip that. Yeah. Of course, those events are very funny. And we do appreciate that. I remember whenever it was it the first game of the season or second game? Horse hit that insane thresh hook into the box that just it was so crazy. I think we got a clip from that. So thank you. I know that one of our chatters who may still be here was the one that clipped that for us. So thank you, citizen, for your work. So thank you all for being with us through this long stream. I understand that it is going very long here today, but to be expected when you have 2 very close teams. So now that we got through the joke, who do you think so far is the MVP for Truman?
That's a big question. I think the very the obvious pick would be to go for Luma,
mm-hmm.
And that's simply because Luma's role in the team is very big, and Luma plays very well, and is able to help the team fights a lot. But I don't.
Who are you debating with?
It's Luma or Meliora.
Uh-huh.
I think they all play really well.
That's true. It's hard to ask us who we think.
It's like asking me which one's my favorite child.
You have a favorite child, though. You have pets, though, right? You have a favorite pet.
Well, yeah. But those were my pets.
Oh, okay. That's the difference there.
Wait, yeah. I have my 2 favorites, and then,
Yeah. I don't know. I think I want to see Game 3. It's kind of like the cop-out answer. I want to see Game 3 to see who really shines. But maybe you give it to Bees. Bees has been so strong through all of these games.
I think we're getting some responses from the chat.
That's true. I wanted to get through mine here. So, okay, let's see. Oh, wow. The chat is blowing up after that. So, chat, let's see what y'all are saying here. It looks like we have between Horse and then Luma in the top. Luma's been doing great with CC. Yeah, I think, Talk's been correct. I think it's between Horse and Luma. Honestly, those are 2 fine picks. Horse has been doing a great job in both games of being able to peel for the ADC. You're seeing a lot of great things out of Horse here on the Rakan and on the Braum. I think it's not even questionable that you want to have that high quality support gameplay out of your support, and of course you're seeing that. So I can't argue with that logic. But of course, Luma is constantly putting that pressure. There are so many instances where I was like, oh gosh, this isn't going to be the greatest fight that Truman's taking, but we're not thinking with portals. Yeah. And Truman is thinking with portals. Luma on the Shen thinking with portals. Yes. He's there in an instant, and he's swung so many of those fights. So I got to respect that too on the decision there for either one of them. I think that's really I agree.
I think that is so big to the point that we're definitely we're going to see Shin banned from Colorado.
Oh my gosh, there's no way that Shen gets through this draft.
If Shin gets pulled, I wouldn't say it's a wrap, but I definitely would put it a little more in Truman's favor just because of how good Luma plays with Shin and how well Shin is doing in this season, and just overall, just I think I had to agree with chat a little bit in saying that Luma might be the MVP. Horse, of course, the support. I always love supports, but
that's true. You know what? Actually, we should probably pose it. Game 1, even though Truman lost, who would you say the MVP was for that? And then Game 2, with Truman's win, who would you say the MVP was that? Game 2, I think, is really clear cut. I think you give it to Luma.
Yes, I think Luma is definitely the MVP there. I think you have to split it up in between the games because the way that everybody was playing, it's hard to say. But for the first game, I don't know.
It's harder because they lost.
Yeah, it's harder because they lost, but I almost want to say Meliora for both games. And
really?
That is only simply because...
so I have before we go any farther, I feel like we're sleeping on Halo. Just a little bit. Like, everybody said everybody else but the jungle, but seriously, think of all those objectives. Think of how many smites that Halo's hitting today.
Halo is just doing a great job. It just doing his job and getting objectives and everything and getting those ganks and stuff.
I think the issue here is support's not usually like the person that you give a lot of credit to, and I think the difference is we both play in bot lane, so we really were like, oh my gosh, yeah, support's doing so good, but now we're sleeping on the jungle, and jungle usually gets decent credit.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, if you're in a solo queue game and something's going wrong, you're like, oh, jungle's throwing, jungle this, So I think we got to put some respect on Halo's name here. Like, that last game was definitely decided by their decision making, and Halo was at every fight.
Yes.
Halo was getting those objectives. Like, you can't question that. Like, you have to put the credit where credit's due.
Are we actually gonna it took for a while, but the players are all actually here now. I wonder if it's gonna be quicker going into this ban phase or not, but I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. We literally talked about everyone but Halo, and I feel so bad.
Halo did a fantastic playing Skarner through that first game. Did a very good job getting those ganks out and really controlling the movement of Colorado.
Yeah.
In that second game, of course, we saw a bunch of times where Halo was like a difference maker in those teams fight because of that ult.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, I think honestly maybe we give it to Halo because the difference maker was there was multiple fights, not just one, that ult made the difference.
Yeah.
There was the fight at the Dragon Pit that took out the Skarner and let Truman have that pressure, win that fight, and were able to do something off of it. And then at the very end, even though Truman was in a position where they were going to win, that ult from Kindred prevented Bees from dying. And I think while that wasn't, 100%, it was probably going to be a thing where they were going to win that regardless. I think you had to put the credit there that every time you saw the Kindred ult come out, except for the one time where it was under the tower, it did make an impact. It made an impact every time. The only time where it was kind of rough was under the tower where you were going to die to the Yone. But every other instance, like, it's unquestionable. Like, that's a big impact. Like, I feel like we slept on it, and like I have to say it. Like, it's important. It's important.
And with what we're talking about, I think it's very important to point out that the fact that all of these guys are doing fantastic jobs, and I think that what makes it so hard to figure out, like, who's the MVP. And it's just in my own opinion, it's just like they're working as a team, and that is what can make the difference, is that they're working together and they're cohesive and they're communicating very, very well.
Yeah, 100%. I think what was just said in chat, that what we're just getting now, because it's just starting the Halo conversation for them, is Halo's super good, but the issue is they don't play Flash Rare champs. That is totally true. Halo really, the picks we see from Halo, the classic Ivern, we see the Mumu, we see...
Ivern's not flashy.
Do you know what the Ivern gameplay loop is? That is a glorified support in the jungle. But the thing is, it's not a thing that Halo is here to make those big plays. Halo is there to win. And those champions in that pool are to facilitate the team doing well.
Yeah.
If you are a jungler and you trust your team that much that you're going to make sure that you are not going to be the one making those plays, you trust your team to play their game and you're going to play off of them and support them, I think that from a coach, because Halo is their coach, from being in that position and being able to trust your team. That just it really speaks to how cohesive and how much, just assurance you have from everybody on Truman's side that they're all going to play to the best of their ability and they trust each other.
That's true. Halo could go in every game and play Kane and try to hyper carry it through the whole time. But Halo is very confident in his team and how well they can play. And Halo is sort of playing that supporting role while also being a very vital point for the team with extra damage and peeling and getting those objectives. Halo is just so important for the whole team to bloom in success.
Yeah, 100%. You can't do anything on a team without a jungle.
That is true.
I think it's true.
I think that's why they're banned out of bot games.
Yeah, honestly. Well, actually, they changed it now.
Really?
The new bot system allows you to pick a champion as the jungler.
Oh.
Yeah, they changed it so they have actual role assignments, and they will jungle.
That's interesting.
They will do objectives now.
That's cool.
The bots are getting better. Our AI overloads are coming for us, and it's starting in League of Legends.
Oh my gosh, I got an email today from Truman that was like, "What's your thoughts on AI?" And I just kind of out of my notifications.
I didn't get an email from Truman about AI.
Really? I got
Is it a major difference? Am I just not that cool?
I don't know. I could look at it real quick, but continue talking about the actual game.
Yes. Yeah, we can only talk about the game so much, and we can only hype up our players so much in between each match before we're going to run into things to talk about. But one thing to note for everybody that is here, I'm so happy that you're all sticking around with us. This weekend, we will have at least one game, but there's potentially going to be the reschedule of the Saturday game at 2 o'clock to next Thursday, but we are at the very least be having a game on Sunday at 2 o'clock. It's going to be another one of our fall warm-ups in Sealol. But now, finally, after all these years, after all this time, the draft, it is here.
And I checked. No, it was about generative AI. But it should have gone to you. It's trained to today.
Interesting. Maybe I just don't check my email enough.
Yeah.
Maybe that's my own problem, honestly. I am just the worst person. I don't check my email at all. That is not true. I have it on my phone. I check it constantly, actually. I make sure I'm logged in because I am afraid of missing emails.
Yeah.
I shiver me timbers. If I miss an email on something important, I will cry.
Yeah.
just not even gonna worry about the fact that I'm crying over emails.
It's okay. Everybody cries over emails.
All right, so the band's here. The Truman banning Lucian makes sense. The Jinx ban, scary. Yeah. Jinx really hurt them last game.
Do we see Zeri from Bees because of that? It really depends on what the rest of the bans are looking like. I don't know. Gragas
is coming out. The man, the myth, the legend, the KDA superfan himself, Gragas, in the top lane facing up against Nargadar. Yes. Volibear. Okay, I have some thoughts about this Volibear, but let's see what the rest of these picks are going to be. Ivern. Truman is coming out. We were hyping up the Ivern earlier. I hope this is the Ivern pick.
I think it is the Ivern pick. I don't think Halo would.
I've been memed on. I've been ruined. Chad, is this real?
Oh my God.
I had to. It was just on the table. I had to.
Chat, is this real? I didn't.
It's the second time they've done it. They did it with the Yuumi, and now they're doing it with the.
There's the Shin ban, like we were talking about.
Yeah.
But it probably happened beforehand, and that's why the Gragas was coming out. Oh, the ban for Volibear too. I think that's important. Is that Truman is trying to cancel out their tanks here.
That's a lot of targeting to the top lane. 3 top lane champions that Luma is known to play: the Cassante, the Shen, and the Jax. Very big.
Yes. Ezreal.
Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting Colorado to pick the Ezreal. I don't think that was normally a champion. Oh my gosh. Today, I have been blessed. I prayed to all of the gods. I said, please let Bees play Zeri. And they gave it to me. I looked up as I was saying that, and I saw the Yuumi out of the corner of my eye. My heart skipped a beat. But fortunately, it's the Braum.
Yes. Okay, let's talk about these team comps. coming out of both Truman and Colorado. Colorado has it's a pretty decent comp. Volibear, Bruiser, Gnar, sort of a Bruiser, Malzahar AP, Karma AP, Ezreal, ADC obviously. They don't they have a front line.
Yep.
But I think they're falling into what they did last time, where they don't have a proper front line.
Yeah, so I think the difference here is Volibear, while very strong, it depends on what he's built, what he builds. I think the difference here is the Gnar. Gnar is good. Gnar is strong, but here's the difference. You have a timer on how long you get that strong frontline for.
Yes.
And if you don't capitalize on it, you have to wait, I think it's 30 seconds before you can even start building up your rage meter again. So I think that's going to make a big difference. I think Truman's draft is wonderful.
Yes.
Bees on Zeri, mwah, perfect, beautiful. Building with the Braum, being able to stack that very fast, beautiful. I love it. Melior on the Akali, beautiful. I love it. Halo on the Sejuani, you're going to have that strong front line, and you have so much lockdown CC off of the Braum passive. You've got the Braum ultimate, you've got the Sejuani ultimate, you've got the Sejuani, I don't remember which ability it does, but it does stop them and freeze them in place.
I think it's their E.
I can't remember off the top of my head. But...
And Gragas. With the Q.
Yes, Gragas being able to zone people with his Q, and then, of course, the knockback on the E, and the Bomba itself. I really like Truman's draft here. I think the difference between these two drafts are Colorado is definitely playing much pokier. We want to just make sure that your laning phases are miserable. We want to just beat you up and prevent you from doing anything and shut down your main carry, which is what the Malzahar is for. The difference is Truman is definitely playing a little bit more of a traditional team where they have a lot of ability to engage and lock down a single champion, but I think they have a lot of disengage too, which is very important, especially for a team that has the Gnar, has the Volibear, has the Ezreal, where you want them to use all those abilities to get on top of you and you just walk away. Yeah. And you're just like, hey, I don't want to fight. You just cover your eyes, I don't see it, there's no fight happening here. And then you wait for them to waste those resources. Gnar goes mini, and then they have that Ezreal E is really long, and Volibear, maybe he casts his ultimate. They use all those resources, and then Truman's like, oh, hey, a fight for us? And they re-engage the fight, and they probably win that fight.
Yeah, I think what's interesting is because of Truman's really good communication ability that we have been seeing through... sorry. And now I'm completely off topic. Okay, Truman was able to focus down champions last time, and it was through communication, very good communication. And that is what I'm expecting to see from here again. When Truman gets into team fights, they're going to be able to go Karma or Ezreal and then Karma, then Malzahar when Gnar's bigness ends going to Gnar and then focusing finally on the Volibear, or however it will play
I think
out.
the Malz is the most important one.
Yeah, Malzahar is very important on focusing on who they want to take out first. So I think Truman, of course, I work for Truman. I'm commentating for Truman, but in this game, how I really feel, I do really believe that Truman has the advantage here going into this game, just simply off their pick ban phase, and it's hard to know exactly how it's going to go until we see some action coming into the beginning and the middle of the game. Truman just has to play smart. Recognize where they're getting caught out, just like now. Well, but Horse gets away, luckily, and while CMU backs off, and CMU was being very aggressive here, trying to look for any kill that they could get, trying to get it on the Braum. That isn't necessarily a horrible thing for Truman, being there's enough time for Braum to reset and just come back. They were looking for that, possibly for that Akali to face check that bush and get a kill early there, but it didn't happen. And Truman's playing smart, knowing that CMU was being aggressive last time.
Yeah, I think sometimes you just want to face check a bush.
Yeah.
As somebody who plays support, sometimes you see a bush and you're like, perhaps there's somebody in there, but I don't want to waste my precious ward on it, so I shall use my face to look in there. And sometimes you die, and you say, well, anyway, and you go back to lane and act like nothing happened.
Yeah.
Somebody pings you, you mute all.
Mute all, of course, because I did what I was doing.
Yeah, I knew what I was doing.
I knew what I was doing. You just didn't see the vision.
True. Nobody had vision because that bush was face checked. Alrighty, let's get this game underway here. So the difference here between these two lanes, that's going to be a lot of damage. Unfortunately, the auto from Zeri is not going to proc that. It counts as an ability, not as an auto attack. But going to be a little bit of damage onto the Ezreal there. The difference between these two bot lanes is Truman's playing a more traditional engage-disengage bot lane, where Colorado's definitely playing a poke bot lane. So the difference between these two is going to be how much pressure they're able to exert. Karma, being able to use her ultimate all the time, is very, very balanced for the game. Well, it's not that unbalanced, of course. It's not as strong as other traditional ultimates, but it does mean that they're going to be able to do a lot of splash damage and basically keep Truman under their tower. But Truman's really going to be playing to just wait for them to make a mistake there. Yeah. I think that's the big difference.
Like Truman is looking for a time that Ezreal flashes in and is caught out, and they're able to stun Ezreal and get possibly get a kill there, or get. They probably will focus the Karma, as she won't be moving as much as the Ezreal will be. But yeah, I agree that it obviously CMU went for a much pokier comp, and I think that is because from the last previous two maps, CMU has been seeing the fact that Truman keeps on going for this more traditional bot lanes, just this more traditional comp overall, and so this pokier bot lane gives them more ability to shut out them from doing anything, sort of how the CMU was feeling last time against Truman.
Ezreal's going to force that flash forward, and it's going to be the ignite, but the volley's going to be from behind. We're going to see one flash, two flash. Oh, the Bees is going to flash and barrier forward, so Horse is probably going to go down here if he's not able to do enough damage on the volley, and Bees is going to have to run away here. He's got E. He's just going to jump over the wall. He's not going to use it yet. What? Bees?
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 Okay.
I was expecting an E. Maybe the E might have still been on cooldown.
Yeah,
I think it is a really punishing cooldown. I think it might be in the 20-second range. So that makes sense on why that happened there. But very good turnaround there, saying we don't want them to get first blood. We'd rather have it on to our Zeri, flashing forward, using the barrier to get the Ezreal. I think that was a really good play, the best thing that you could ask for there, especially when the kill went onto the Karma.
Yes, the kill going on the Karma is very good. Going to be probably seeing the flash out from Mayora there, trying to just get out of that bad position. We're seeing the aggressiveness of their jungler working out a little bit better here, especially because of having Volibear, a very aggressive high damage champion, would probably play a little bit more into their favor, especially into their play style.
Yep. And this is going to be a really interesting play here. Yeah, just going to be going to just keep this wave here. Luma's looking for the freeze there, get a little bit of extra damage. Nar's not in a position where he's going to be able to go Mega Nar, so it's not that big of an issue. Luma's really just able to just keep this wave here. Of course, he has some healing built into his kit. He just doesn't have enough to deal with Nar at this point. Very good aggression there from Horse. I also, while you were talking, I realized, so Truman has this, there's going to be the 6, so this is going to be really dangerous. Nar may E forward wall, knock him into wall, and might be able to kill here. I don't think it's the best play for Nar because he's going to die. It actually might be a worthy play. Ooh, okay, you survive it. Okay, Nar got forced into his Mega form, so it's not that big of a threat here. The difference would have been if Nar was able to do that and they both die, he is TP, so he's able to get a lot of that pressure here. That's perfect timing, knowing that Nar is going to be off of the Mega Nar there. That's very, very good from Luma there. So the thing that I didn't realize, good job on Truman for taking that dragon there. The thing that I didn't realize is Truman really likes to coordinate their outfits here. Oh, let's just let this play out here. You wanna call this fight?
Yeah, the Brahm's going in on to the Karma, and Ezreal just pops out of there.
Yeah, I kind of expected a little bit more of a fight there.
Yeah, something. It looked like something was setting up, but Ezreal.
Yeah, so Truman likes to coordinate their outfits, so to speak. So if you're noticing, they have a little bit of a theme going on here. So we have a Vault Breaker Braum, or a Crime City Braum. He's got some money on him. We've got the Zeri, who is not using a normal Zeri skin. I'm not sure which Zeri skin that is, but it kind of matches with the Braum there. And then, of course, you see Halo with the Sejuani has a gold theme going. And then you also see Gragas Esquire in the top lane.
Yes.
Uh-oh. They're playing like a money comp. I think it's really cool that they're coordinating their skins like this. I just thought it was worth a mention because there's not a ton happening around map here. I just think it's fun. It's fun to note that, of course.
I believe the Swajani is the Chinese New Year skin.
Yes,
I really
true.
like that one. It rides a pig. A pig obviously is a sign of luck and fortune in Chinese culture. And I believe that Zeri skin is just an alternate. I think that's just a different color.
For the base skin?
For the base skin, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I did not know that.
I mean, that looks like Zeri, like the normal Zeri skin. I wasn't paying attention to when we were loading in. I could have told you.
Yeah, I probably could have seen it whenever I was in there, but the second I got in there, it switched over to the normal game. So that's my bad. Not paying that much attention. But I know the rest of the skins, of course. So.
Yeah, they match up.
Yeah, they're definitely in a position where they're like, we want to at least go out in style. So we are going to make sure we are wearing our best clothes. Because if we feel our best and look our best, we're going to play our best.
That's true, and it's very true. Seeing some action coming up here in the top lane. Okay, so Luma tries to get that extra damage out there. Sees that the Volibear is charging, but the Volibear doesn't have enough of the charge left to actually hit Gargus, and so the slow actually just comes off of the Volibear's Q there.
Ooh, Meganar's about to come out. That's going to be jump and the wall. He's going to ult into the wall. Yep, there it is.
Oh, the knockback.
Yes, that was a really good time of the ult there. And
Sejuani's
Sejuani's there. And Melior's there too! Oh my gosh, yeah, it'd be very good cleanup here from Truman, just knowing exactly when to rotate, recognizing that. And there was a big ult from Luma there.
Yes.
And there was a big ult from Halo there. That was a very good, there was some communication going on that we did not get to see. But of course, Truman did a great job here. And then, yes, we can't hear that, but look at this. Horse being very smart, getting that vision after we see their jungler's dead. And something that I did want to note is that the jungler on Colorado Mesa, it has been said the entire time, during scouting and during the discussion about how they wanted to draft, is their jungler wants to fight and gank constantly. And Truman's Volibear is his preferred pick. They're giving him the Volibear because they know that he is going to look for every fight that he can take. Mm-hmm. And Truman's going to use that to their advantage and say, okay, if we can track this Volibear, we know where he is going to fight next. We just know that we could take something in an opposite lane.
Yeah.
On the opposite side of the map, there's going to be something that's free.
Yes. Not having to worry about that Volibear coming in for those fights, and just knowing where he is in general is good. And giving him that probably will boost a little bit of the jungler's confidence when it's coming into this game. And I know this discussion that Truman was having was that their jungler is very, very aggressive and will continue to go in over and over and over again, trying to get kills in here. And we see some good action.
That's going to be an ult backwards.
Yeah. But it was said by Truman that their jungler likes to go.
This Volibear spot. This is going to be a tower dive.
Yeah, that's a tower dive.
They probably recognize that this tower dive is going to happen. Somebody's going to call it. Oh my gosh, Gragas with the TP. There's going to be the tower turned off there coming, and there's going to be the Gragas coming in with the E, and then there's going to be the flash who's going to knock people back.
And then the tower is back on.
Alrighty, and then we're going to see some damage coming through here. They're probably not going to continue this too hard, but no, there's going to be the jump forward. It's going to be the E shield. Bees is able to pick up that kill, and they're going to keep doing some damage there. The question mark from Bees on that emote.
And then we saw Swajani was rotating around. We see the rest of them actually rotating around, trying to focus on this objective. Stunning Malzahar out of his recall, getting rid of that recall, getting rid of that magic shield, and Truman is now looking for a good setup.
And the flash from both of them is going to be very big. There's no way. Oh my gosh, that's very good use of your passive there coming out from the Gragas, and this is going to be a rough fight here for Halo, but they have nothing to be able to peel out of this. So you're going to be able to take down the volley, and then they're potentially going to be able to take on the Ezreal. He has no E, so you can still fight this out, and Bees is going to go forward, but they're not going to be able to get anything happen there. They're going to pop the... You're going to find the barrier pop there, and then Horse is going to have to jump out. You're going to see the flash forward from the Karma.
Horse has ult.
Ult's forward, and there's going to be the barrier on the Ezreal. They're going to trade there, but there's going to be the shutdown for the Ezreal, and then Horse is just going to have to walk away. You're going to see Halo rotate here. Not much that you can do, but Horse is going to make the decision to stay in this fight, to get this Karma to stay here. Going to be able to break the tether. Halo is going to be able to take them down. Horse has to get the kill there, but honestly, if you let that Karma live any longer, she's going to kill you and you die.
Yeah, that was a very intelligent play from Truman, and a very intelligent play from Horse overall, keeping the Karma there.
Meliora is just in the jungle.
It's just in the jungle fighting. Oh, Meliora, you got to be careful here. But Halo is there, hopefully to help. But oh no! I mean, just gotta back off.
Putting some pressure. Oh, this is gonna be bad. That's gonna. That's a Malzahar.
Yeah. The dash from Meliora there, and the Switchani's just dies as Meliora tries to get out, and Bees was trying to help cover.
Yeah, after all of the winning plays that they made there, that was definitely the losing play, to take that fight in the jungle. Even though you want to try to take Gragas down a peg. Or sorry, not Gragas. Take the Volibear down a peg. There's not much more that you can do there. And then you're not going to be able to get an objective topside. You did force the flash and the ultimate out from the Malzahar, but there's not much more that you're going to be able to get from that. So Truman just has to try to recover here. Oh my gosh. There is some great damage coming out from that static shiv there on the Zeri.
Yes.
This is going to be an interesting re-engage. This is going to be a 3v2, and they're going to be able to put 3v3 here. Going to be able to put a lot of damage. Looking for the Gnar, they're going to get the big stun onto the Volibear. Volibear is going to have to use his W to try to get that extra shield, and he's going to get a lot of shielding here. Volibear Volt going to come out, going to take down the Meliora, and then they're just going to have to try to disengage this fight. Truman's not going to be able to pick up anything, and Colorado is going to be able to pick up all of those grubs there, or at least get the 4 for the buff. Yeah, just a rough position here from Truman. Not really able to capitalize off of. I mean, they made the big play and they're able to get something out of it, but they really weren't able to continue to capitalize. And of course, that Braum ultimate missing there is going to be very rough. Going to get one more hit onto the Ezreal, and that's going to kill the Ezreal. Ezreal has no way to get out of this if he doesn't have his E up, but it's going to be the extra damage, and you're going to be at least able to get the Karma here. And the Ezreal. Oh, of course, the static shiv putting in work. Big static shiv, proc.
That was a very big static shiv proc. And now bot lane gets to, or at least Braum gets the reset, and Truman gets to think about what they're going to do for their next objective here. Possibly going in for...
This is a rough position, yeah. I think in both positions you just have to get out. Halo, I think that was a very good play from Halo. Just walking back towards the volley. Volley's so kill hungry.
Yeah.
We see this the way this volley's playing. He's so kill hungry that he's willing to go after you. And so instead of, they could have killed Luma there, but that just... It's like a buff.
Yeah.
it is like a buff or a debuff that the Volibear has. They just, if I see somebody, I'm killing them.
Going in for it, and then the teleport in by from Luma, trying to and the rotation from Meliora, getting CMU completely off this objective, and they're able to take it away.
Yeah,
from
forced
them.
The volley flash there too. That was very, very good there.
Good rotations, good vision from German there.
Yeah, 100%. And then Bees is in a very strong position there. You can get a lot of those procs there off of that wave if you play this correctly. Melior is kind of in a rough position here, stuck between 3 people, but Halo is there to try to relieve that pressure. And you've got the 1v1 in top lane, and forever, I almost spoke German there, forever a 1v1 in the top lane, forever an island. They are... disconnected with their teams.
Yeah.
Flash E into the Gragas ultimate. Oh my gosh. If that would have killed there, that probably would have been one of the greatest plays that I think I have seen one of the Truman players make so far. I was hoping that did enough damage to take out the Gnar, but it just wasn't going to be enough. Rough position if you are horse here.
Yeah, you're try ult. Try to peel a little bit here. into the blast.
Blast cone, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's getting to be a little bit harder as I'm trying to call these plays here. That's going to be the Malzahar ultimate onto Bees, and Bees are going to have to jump back out there, but Melior is going to be there, and we're going to lose 2 people on the side of Truman. That's just a very rough fight there, but you're going to see, the flash forward from the Ezreal. Ezreal is currently without flash, probably without the E there too, so there's going to be a lot of damage. He's going to take the stun, he's going to take the Braum passive, and he's going to E backwards, and it's going to be the tether onto the Braum, but the Braum is going to walk backwards. Yeah, sorry, what I wanted to say was it's getting harder to cast. My voice is very, very dry, and I'm losing my voice very slowly. So all these fights that keep happening is making it very difficult for me to cast this.
From Truman here is, I think, giving this Volibear up. I mean, it wasn't awful, but they have to. Yes, okay. This is perfect. Truman's using the aggressiveness of the Volibear to their advantage and catching him out and getting that kill on him. And now because Malzahar committed to that fight, he has to stay there. Getting the kill on the Zeri. Malzahar is doing some crazy damage, getting the kill on the Switchani too. But Melior is there to clean up some damage and getting the kill on Braum.
Ooh, dodging both the Ezreal E and the Ezreal Q was really big there.
Melior can stay and hopefully get possibly get a kill on the Karma, but I don't think it's the play there.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. We're seeing both sides of the fight here. We're seeing like things that we want to see, things that we don't want to see. Gnar is going to be able to walk forward, get that big stun, get the ultimate into the wall, and then Gragas is just going to be like, you know what? I don't know. This isn't the greatest fight ever, or whatever. You know, he didn't really accomplish too much.
Yeah,
there.
Gragas' sustain in lane is just it's a lot for Gnar to handle.
One of the best lane sustains. You know who has a better lane sustain than that though?
Shin.
Zach.
Oh, Zach.
Yes, as an avid Zach player, even though I'm a support player. I like to play the Zac, and you want to know something? I have never in my life seen people tilt more than laning against a Zac, because you know what I do? I just don't die.
Yeah,
it's just the gameplay loop is I am Zac, I heal, I do not die.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when they do kill you, they flame really hard. They're like, oh my gosh, you're the worst player in the world, because it's a Zac top. Like Zac doesn't usually go top, even though he's insanely good in the top lane. Take more Zac top, everybody, do it. I'm telling you right now, you have my pass. Please take Zac top. You know what? Take Zac support. I'm telling you right now, it can work. It will work.
You know, besides the Zac working here, we see Truman was pretty intelligent, trying to get CMU off of Drag and trying to rotate to the. Oh
my gosh! The E from the Gragas there was really big.
Trying to switch to focus on that tower, and now Gragas is behind them, being able to do some quick damage, getting the kill on the Braum. If Switchani can't rotate back in for it, and just kind of to back off.
Yeah, that's a rough fight from Truman there. You know, I don't think you really had everybody in the positions that you wanted to have them, and you do get the TP from the Gnar and the TP from the Gragas. It's just a little bit later. I don't know if that was a difference in if they had different TP timers, or if Gragas said, okay, I think I can do something top, but it just fell apart.
Yeah.
Rough position to be there if you're in Truman, but you don't lose too much of your tempo. The gold difference is only about 2k. But, of course, the anti-carry that is Malzahar is going to be more and more of a problem. I think you need to start making the decision on who you're going to prioritize in these fights. It's easy for Colorado. You focus Bees.
Yeah.
You focus the Zeri. You get the Zeri out of the game. You put all the resources onto her. She can't play the game. She dies. But I think Truman recognizes that, and they're going to continue to do good and peel for the Zeri. I think what needs to happen next is baiting out some of those abilities so that you get them on other carries, and then also looking for positions where you can make something else happen. Speaking of making something happen, the Gnar just jumps for no reason. It's gonna be the Bomba backwards. That's gonna be the passive into the stun from the Sejuani,
and then another stun,
and then there's gonna be the ult coming off from Gnar. He got enough of that rage to be able to build it up, but it just does not matter.
Yeah.
When you have 4 on top of you, hitting you that hard, there's not much that you can do if you're Gnar in that situation.
Yeah.
Truman looks like they're going to be able to take this top tower, but it looks like they're going to be trading the mid tower for it. There's going to be the tower for Truman in that top side. They're going to have to rotate down and try to slow down this mid tower. There's no way that they can stop this from being taken, but they can at least try to make a play here. Melior coming from bottom, and then Halo coming in for the top side. There's going to be the big stun going to go onto the Karma. Melior is going to pick up the kill from the Karma. Halo is going to go down, but you have Bees ulting, and then he's going to be on top of the Ezreal. You're going to be able to get some damage here, and you're going to be able to chase down this Malzahar. The chase is still happening on this top side, while Malzahar is going to be able to almost probably take down Horse. Horse is going to go down from the Malzahar burn, and they're not going to be able to get anything on this Ezreal. Most likely, you're going to be able to slow him just a little bit, but he's still going to have that E over the wall, and there's not much that you can do. The portal out is going to secure that he lives there. That is
the jump over the wall, possibly a little more damage from Bees, and then you just got to peel for Bees here. Hopefully.
Yeah, barrier going to come out for the Bees, and the volley bear committing the ult is just so much damage coming out from that volley bear. Wow.
Yeah.
There's so many things that I'm not expecting to happen, and so many things that are happening.
Yeah.
Just the aggressive play out of the volley bear is what you expected, but he's making those plays work, and I think that's scary.
Yes, I think that was what Truman wasn't expecting. They were expecting, this isn't looking too good for Luma here.
Ooh, yeah. Procking the W on the Gnar is very, very rough.
This doesn't look good for Halo either. They gotta rotate out of there. But what I don't think Truman was expecting was the fact that
Gnar ult backwards onto this. This is going to be really rough. This is going to be the Ezreal E over the wall. You're going to have to get the flash out from Halo. We do have a Braum answering this, but there's going to be too much damage coming out, and there's going to be the Ezreal ultimate there to secure the kill. A rough position for Truman to be in. This is such an even game compared to the other two that we saw. Where, of course, the first game, it was so one-sided, and then they clawed their way back. The second game, Truman kept a demanding lead. This game is much stronger on the side of Colorado. Using the TP to get out and get to that Baron fight, not a bad play at all from Colorado, from the Malzahar. Oh my gosh.
There's going to be a fight here. Focusing on the Malzahar, trying to get that kill. I don't know if this was absolutely a play.
Yeah, I don't really know what the call was there. I don't think that was the right play to make. I don't think you can do anything if you were 2v5 in that position. Especially if you know that they're going to be on that Baron. And now it's just left to Halo, Meliora, and Luma to stop this push in. This is going to be a lot. They're probably going to get this inhibitor too. Going to get the freeze onto the Volley Bear. Volley Bear's not going to be able to stun the tower. He does not need to.
And CMU is just going to continue to push using that Baron buff.
They're going to rotate. Yeah, they don't really need to push much more. They could potentially get the bot side, but they're probably, yes, I would definitely say looking for the dragon. Going to be able to get some... Ooh, this is be really big if you're able to stop any one of these backs here. But of course, those backs are so fast, there's not much that you can do there. So this puts them in a slight disadvantage here. They know that they're positioning for the dragon, but Truman only has 3, and they're going to be able to get all 5 onto this dragon fight. This is going to be a rough position for Truman to take. They need to recognize that they are not strong with just 3. They're going to need their 5. 5 is going to be the name of the game here, and so we're getting ready for this dragon fight. It's not the biggest dragon fight in the world. It's not for Soul, but this is an important fight because this could make or break Truman's game with the Baron buff on the side of Colorado.
Yeah. If Truman loses this team fight here, this could possibly be pushed down mid and trying to do as much damage
as possible. I think Truman recognized that and said, you know what, let's not fight. Yeah. Let's just leave.
Yes, let's just leave, focus on our other positions that are going to work a little bit better for us, and they know it's not Soul, and so they still have, they don't necessarily have to completely give it up.
Yeah, 100%. And now you're going to have to try to slow down this push coming in from them. The Baron buff is going to be going down probably, I think it's within 30 seconds here, so you just need to hold out and try to hope that they don't get more than a couple towers in that inhibitor. And it looks like they're going to get that tower. I don't think it's going to be very close if they're able to get this tower because they're going to be able to put out a lot of damage here on the side of Truman to at least slow it down. The biggest threat there is going to be that cannon doing damage, and of course that Gnar on the top side. Truman's going to choose to give up this tower to focus on that Gnar. Gnar is going to get away with 1 HP, but Melior is going to pick up the kill. They do lose the tower. They're not going to lose the inhibitor, but now it's going to be a game of disengaging from CMU, and they're going to be able to do that very well given that they have the Ezreal.
Yeah, not too much you can do from Truman there. Even if you try to go in to stop any of them, there's the chance that they can turn that right back around and use that on you if you try to go in there. Truman just has to play it safe and not try to be kill hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Looking for more safer alternatives. Truman's got to have an answer here for either the Malzahar or the Ezreal. They're simply just getting stronger and stronger as time goes on. There has to be something that they need to do.
Yeah, and I think Truman definitely they lost some of the momentum they had from that first game. They had so much tempo and like positive mental for second game. I'm sorry. So they're probably it's a little bit waning. There is about a 7-8 gold K gold difference. So this is a substantial difference between these two teams, and honestly, there's not much that you can do in this position if you are Truman. This is going to be a very important fight here if this ends up being a kill onto Melior. Melior is going to recommit into this. Oh my gosh, into this fight. You're going to see the ult come out from the Volley Bear, and we're going to see the TP come in from. Oh, there was no TP. Oh, the TP was canceled bot side. It was going to be Luma TPing in, but the silence from the Malzahar canceled that TP. Yeah, and Truman is really just getting denied most of this tempo from this game here.
Yeah.
They don't have very many positions where they can do something. It looks like they're trying to look for something to happen in this bot lane, but with 4 top, there's not much that you can do, and you see that people are rotating up there to try to answer this, but they're just going to bleed another tower in that position, and that's just, it's a rough position to be in. You're just losing those objectives, and you just don't have the pressure to compete with it, so it's just really rough.
Yeah. Truman, they're looking for something that they can hopefully pick out. And
we're going to see the Braum ult commit in there. We're going to see Halo in the back there. We're going to see Nar's going to jump backwards. He is going to get ulted there, but now we're going to see some damage coming out from Beast. We're going to see the TP come in for the Malzahar, but the Nar's going to go out first, and then we're going to see Melior is going to go down second, but Beast has not been touched. Beast is still doing damage. Beast is going to take down one. Beast is going to get ulted by the Malzahar in the backline, and then it is just going to be Luma there in that fight. That was the ace on to Truman, and I think that might just be game on the side of Colorado. Truman has 20 seconds on their closest team member to get out of this fight. I think that's unquestionably that is going to be the game there.
Yeah, Truman doesn't have too many options. They just have to wait for those timers to go down, and CMU just has enough damage to just continue to push it out.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and that is going to be the game there. Really unfortunate that's the way that game ended. But of course, I mean, you have a 9K goal difference at the end there. That is such a big goal difference. I don't think Truman necessarily played that too poorly. It's hard when you have the anti-carry.
Yes,
the Malzahar.
The anti-carry and Malzahar on like one of the best players for CMU. It makes sense that that this ended out this way.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Truman wasn't necessarily expecting Malzahar. I don't think that was necessarily in the scouting information. So it wasn't too much of a thought. But although it did happen, and so Truman loses the last map here. The game goes to Colorado Mesa University.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so thank you everybody for sticking around with us and joining us on this stream. If you want to find more content from Truman State University Esports, you can find us, of course, on Twitch if you're watching this live, and if you're watching us on YouTube, or if you're not and you're watching us live on Twitch, you can find us on YouTube. Both of those are going to be Truman Esports. Of course, you can find us on Instagram and X or Twitter, whichever you prefer to call that.
Twitter.
So you can find us there, Truman Esports. If you want to see more from us, if you want to know when our next game is going to happen, please do join us for that. Of course, I'll go ahead and plug Truman will be playing at 6 o'clock on Thursday Central Time. Truman Smash will be playing, and then this weekend, potentially there will be a game on Sunday at 2 o'clock. Central Time in CLOL. I'm not sure who they were playing, but there might be a game on Saturday, 2 o'clock Central Time, again for CLOL. So thank you all for joining us, and we wish you all a great night.
Have a good night.